Mayor Christy Mosbach,
Here.
Vice Mayor Gregory Freebold.
Here.
I'm sorry, President Pro Tem Taylor Materio,
Here.
Councilmember Bridget Keating.
Present.
I would like to invite Father forward to give an invocation. And in the meantime, we'd like a moment of silence for Thomas Vitola, 65 years young, who passed away on April 15.
Let us pray. Oh, Heavenly Father, as we come before you today to discuss the well-being of this town, we ask for thy guidance and wisdom, for thou art the source of all knowledge and understanding. Therefore, we seek thy direction in all our decision-making process. Allow us, O Lord, to be mindful of the words from the book of Proverbs, to trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not on our own understanding, and in all ways submit to him, and he will make our paths straight. Help us to listen attentively to one another with open hearts and minds. May we not be quick to judge or criticize, but instead seek to understand different perspectives and opinions. We pray that thou will give us the discernment to make the best decisions for the greater good of our community. We trust that thou will guide us. May our words and actions be guided by thy love and grace. This we pray in thy all holy name. Amen.
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 Father, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father.
Father Peter.
Thank you, Father Peter.
Father.
Do we have any public comments today? Emily, do we have any from you on the online?
I think
No, we don't.
Thank you.
I think the weather got to them.
Pardon me?
I think
It
the
is.
air got to them.
It's pouring now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to adjust my over under.
Oh, don't count on it. Let's see. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Move. Oh.
I'll second.
Hey, we're on the same page there. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. The consent agenda, I would like to remove item B, or should I just revise it?
I think it's so minor, you could just revise it.
Okay, after consultation with the town manager, I have volunteered to be the representative to the Palm Beach County League of Cities, which is item number B. Other than that, may I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
May I ask what the difference was with the current resolution and appointing you?
Joe was the
I was-
representative,
okay.
and he kindly offered to
Okay,
let me do it.
got it.
Let's see. We have a presentation from the audit. Would like to welcome Grau and Associates.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mayor and Council. It's my name is David Kaplivsky. I'm an auditor with Grau and Associates. I'm a partner there. It is our honor to serve as the independent auditor of the town's financial statements. We're also the independent auditor of the CRA's financial statements. So with your permission, I'd like to present both audits.
Yes, please.
Just that? Okay. So the bottom line is, the town is required to get an independent audit of its financial statements by state statute. And we were selected as the independent auditors in the RFP process. We're a new audit firm for the town. And we've been through the process now for the September 30th, 2025 financial statements. I'm happy to report that we were able to issue an unmodified opinion on the financial statements, which is the best opinion we can give. And that goes for the CRA as well. I'd like to also thank the town manager and the town staff. They were very helpful in providing us all the information that we needed to verify the numbers in this report and the activity for the fiscal year. There were, as well as the financial consultant, Ron Bennett. It was a long process. We were getting our bearings since his first year. I expect next year to be more efficient and to be able to come out here earlier. But overall, thankful to the board and to the town and their staff for this opportunity and their assistance. I'm just going to go over some general highlights. Basically, and I'm happy to address any specific questions at the end. But basically, the town's financial position overall improved in fiscal year 2025. That's good. Also, the liquidity remains strong. The major activity during the fiscal year 2025, as you know, was capital projects. I believe a bridge was the biggest project there. And
I knew that was coming.
I know, sorry, I have to, but
Award-winning. You have to say award-winning bridge, please.
I'm sorry, award-winning bridge.
Yes.
And so you'll see that in the financial statements. As far as compliance goes, we're required to give our report on compliance matters, and that was also an unmodified opinion or a clean opinion, which is the best opinion we can give. The CRA is included in the town's financial statements as a component unit, but it also issues its own financial statements. So I'll just briefly talk about that now. Like I said, the CRA's financial statements, also an unmodified opinion, also the compliance on the compliance side, completely in compliance. So with that, once again, thank you for the opportunity to serve, and I'm open for any questions you may have.
I do have one question, but first I would like to congratulate our town manager and his staff for an unqualified opinion.
Mhm.
That's quite impressive. Well done.
Mhm.
My only question for you, sir, is under the report to management, item number 5, the town has not met one or more of the financial emergency conditions
Yes.
described in section 218. What does that refer to?
So that's actually a good thing, and that's ambiguous language, and I apologize for that. That's saying that the town is not in a financial emergency.
Okay.
There's specific conditions in the statutes, and the town did not meet those conditions. So that's a good thing. I will try to clean that up next year, but that's boilerplate language that we have in all of our reports, and that question always comes up. So get on it.
It's an accounting way to say it.
Yes.
Bad English.
That's right.
Any other questions?
No.
A question? No, we're in good, we're healthy.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
We have been.
Yes,
We
sir.
hope to continue to be.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate all your efforts going in here, and I don't think that since I've been up here, we've ever had anywhere where we were in an emergency financially or any shape
No.
or form.
No.
So I appreciate it very much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're required to make that statement because it's part of the statutes. So, but it's good to know.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So,
Oh, do you have anything else we need to know from you?
no, I don't need anything
Okay.
else.
Okay.
Yes,
I would just like to commend the town staff again. The general fund is 4.6 million in very solid shape. And our months of expenditures in our reserves have gone from 3.5 months 2 years ago to 5 months last year to over 7 months this year. And at the same time that we were also 3 years in a row reducing the millage rate. So big kudos to you on
A team
accomplishing that.
Mm.
Team effort. Thank you.
I would also add that at the same time, we were doing the bridge with the cost overruns, and to come out with reserves is phenomenal.
Thank you.
We thought that award-winning bridge was gonna hamper us.
Did I show you this? Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Any other questions for the auditor?
No,
Thank you for joining us
Thank
this
you
evening.
very much for having me.
good seeing you.
Good seeing
Thank you.
David.
It was
Good
smooth
meeting.
for a first audit, so thank you.
Mhm.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Now we will have a presentation on lithium batteries.
Mhm.
Good evening, Council. Today we have two representatives from our Palm Beach County Fire Rescue Team. They're community educators, Supervisor Elise Carhart and Fatou Benoit. They're going to be talking about lithium batteries. I know the question came up a couple of meetings back. This is what they do for a living. They're very good speakers. They'll do a much better job than I will. I'll give you the report afterwards. But they'll go ahead and give you a brief presentation on batteries and the dangers of it, and they'll share some information. All right.
Some of the disposal hazards, that's the.
Correct.
the big-
Yep.
Can I invite you to the podium up front here?
You-
We have a number of residents that watch this online, so they want to see your pretty face.
Face, which
No,
one?
no,
No,
just face us, just talk, move the mic down so everybody can hear you.
Okay. Good evening.
Thank you.
There,
All
perfect,
right.
thank you.
Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to speak before town council and all the residents. So the topic is lithium batteries. My name is Elise Carhart, as Chief Martinez introduced, and I'm going to make sure that I know how to work this. Okay. So in 2023, Solid Waste Authority with Palm Beach County reached out to our agency to establish a community education partnership because disposal, community education, and fire hazards go hand in hand. So we do have an official partnership. There are billboards on main roadways, and we have a very good collaboration with them. And you'll see as the messaging does tie into disposal and safety. So you all, everybody at home, even is using different devices and products right now that use lithium batteries, lithium ion batteries. So single use, in other words, not rechargeable, are in everyday items that we use, from remote controls to key fobs. You see the hearing aids, our smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms. They look like button cell. They look like conventional batteries as well. And the way you'll know what type of battery it is by looking at the labeling and the symbols. It might have an L and an I and a B. It'll say lithium versus alkaline. It's just a matter of reading the labels and becoming familiar yourself. Rechargeable, our cell phones, iPads, laptops, cameras, tools get into the bigger lithium ion batteries, the rechargeable versions with the e-mobility devices, our electric vehicles. The technology is advancing from small to larger items and household products to energy storage systems at home. It's really important that we become aware with the products we're using and the dangers. And this all boils down to informing ourselves, reading instructions, looking at labels. Now, one of the main dangers is the fire hazard component of it. And our message, our very strict message, is to avoid throwing them in household trash. And the way to know which batteries can go in the trash safely or not is the symbols. So you'll see a garbage can with an X through it, a garbage can with a line through it. Being very mindful as we're taking batteries out and replacing them with new ones. And what do we do with the old ones? I'll get into that. But if you'll know if they can go into the garbage can safely by looking at the drawing. No language needed. It's just a simple drawing. Okay, do I play it by pushing the next, okay.
This is just a regular Energizer lithium battery, and what's inside of it honestly kind of scares me. Just for fun though, I'm gonna open it up, and I've already made a little cut in the outer shell. Opening batteries like this is dangerous, and it's almost always a huge pain. But I was eventually able to pop off its shell. Now I can unroll its insides and reveal the thing that scares me. It honestly doesn't look like much, but it's a bunch of lithium metal, and it's extremely reactive. The metal itself technically isn't what scares me though, and it's what can happen if it's added to water. Normally, it just fizzles a bunch and maybe lights on fire. In this foil form from the battery though, it can sometimes be a bit more reactive. I personally had to discover this the hard way, and I'm very lucky it all turned out okay.
So you can see how the lithium metal was wrapped up nice and tightly in that seemingly harmless looking AA battery. The lithium battery, the lithium metal is very reactive with the water. Obviously, we're not going to have it exposed like it is, but just think about it. If it's thrown in household trash, if it's mistreated, that metal can become exposed. If it's exposed to the elements in water and even inside of a garbage truck, you can see what can happen. And there have been fires inside garbage trucks before. Okay, let's watch this.
The rechargeable?
That's a, yep, that is a laptop battery. You see how it swells up to the point of failure? So obviously we're not going to do this at home. And I would put a disclaimer out there, you know, don't try this at home. And this is giving ideas to our youth, but honestly, this is all over the internet. I'm not giving anybody ideas they haven't seen before, they don't have access to. But you can see, imagine in a garbage truck, imagine in your garbage can, imagine in your suitcase, imagine on an airplane, imagine wherever you go. Our devices, our equipment, our products, they can get damaged. This is a severe case. It is exposed, but when the batteries come out for disposal and get removed, even in retail stores, they're very vulnerable to becoming damaged. And you can see the violent reaction that takes place. Okay, this is some experimentation, some live burn demonstrations that we did at Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, our administrative and training complex. This is an electric bike battery. So watch what happens. We'll go into thermal runaway in just a second. We get these in home fires, garage fires. They're just standing by, not being used.
That wasn't even prompted. That just started on its own.
We heated it up to the point of failure to demonstrate what it looks like when it goes into thermal runaway. Look at the jetting that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, imagine hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in an electric vehicle, the bottom. Imagine that electric vehicle parked into a garage. Imagine it parked in a parking garage. Imagine parking in a parking garage under a hotel you stay in. Imagine the Kravis Center. I mean, just imagine. We've got charging stations all over. So this was prompted to make it fail so we can demonstrate what it looks like when it goes into thermal runaway. When it goes in, it's a thermal and chain reaction that happens with the lithium ion batteries when the cells inside, the movement inside, it continues moving to the point of no return. So it has failed and it will continue to fail. And our only suppression right now, and the best one, is water. And I'll go into that a little bit because this is not like your conventional fire. It takes a lot of water to put these out. And these are very dangerous.
When you're saying thermal runaway,
Mhm.
like what are you?
It's a chain.
What did you do?
So all we did was heat the battery up to the point where it kept heating and heating to the point where it couldn't cool itself. So it heated past the point of no return, basically.
And you're saying the inside of
We accelerated the energy inside the battery cells to overheat, and
I understand
they,
that, but you're,
okay.
you're saying that the inside of a garage potentially gets that same level of heat?
So what we're finding in home fires, and Chief Martinez can even attest to this, and our fire investigators, and find all over the internet, and I'll get into this a little bit in the presentation as well. In our home, they look seemingly harmless, which is fine. It's still a product. It's still technology. They can fail like any consumer item that we have. Where it gets a little tricky is when people start modifying their products, when they overcharge their products, when they disable safety features on their products that are designed to shut them off automatically if they overheat, which those can fail too. Using products, batteries, chargers that didn't come with the original product. So we'll look online for cheaper, less expensive alternatives for charging cords or charging anything or a cheaper battery. Maybe the original wasn't working right. And instead of going to the manufacturer and buying the brand name that matches that product, we look for a less expensive alternative. So using mixed match products, overcharging, and then not being mindful and recognizing if it is beginning to fail or if it is looking like it is overheating, or if it's getting hot, we're not being mindful of those signs the product's telling us that we need to stop using it. And the smoke that's coming off of that battery as it's burning, that's not conventional smoke. The lithium, the off-gassing is very toxic. It's toxic to our firefighters. It's toxic to humans. So normal smoke is toxic. This brings it to a whole nother level where our law enforcement officers a lot of times are they respond to car crashes before the fire department even gets there. They're on the road more than we are with their road patrol, and they want to help citizens get out of their vehicles. So they can become exposed in an electric vehicle fire or a crash. It looks like regular smoke. When it's an electric vehicle and it's using lithium ion battery technology, it is a whole nother animal. And that's not the type of smoke or toxic fumes that anyone should be breathing. We are lucky enough to have the breathing apparatus to protect our respiratory system. They are not. So this is more of an awareness piece. And listen, if all else fails and I don't get through this presentation, there's a lot of information on pbcfr.org on our website. So that's a good reference, and any manual or manufacturer's instructions for any product that you have that uses lithium-ion batteries from small to large are going to be your references, okay?
I just have one more question.
Yes.
Sarah.
Don't be sorry.
Because you brought up the Kravis Center as an
Oh.
example.
It's just an example.
Right.
Yeah.
But a very it's one that we all probably visit and experience. Is there a case of this occurring in a garage like this? I mean, because it's not an enclosed garage system too. I'm just curious since you.
There have been in garages locally here. We don't have a lot of garages in our service area. Kravis Center is City of West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
But yes, there have been instances. The airport has taken charging stations out of their parking garage. They are now outdoors and
Because they had
exposed.
one of a thermal runaway situation or just
No,
an incident?
preventative.
Okay.
Not that I know of, preventative, merely, and soon you'll see a tool that now is on airport grounds that we have that we're using and piloting. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just an awareness piece, so.
Yeah. Thank
Sorry.
you.
So this is what the cells inside. They look like conventional AA's. There's a ton of them. Imagine, like I said, hundreds of these in an electric vehicle. They just cascade. It's a cascade thermal reaction that just continues, not thermal runaway. But that's what the guts and the inside looks like. Our fire investigators go into fires afterwards, and they are the ones who figure out where the fire started and how it started. Now, this could very well be the source of a fire, and we have had cases where they have found these on site. So charge them outside. Don't charge them in the house, and don't charge them in the garage. You'll find a lot of college campuses will not allow them in the dorms in the living areas. They will not allow them indoors. New York has kind of set the pace for laws and codes and rules as far as electric vehicles. Think about it. It's a highly popular mode of transportation in our dense city population, right? There's dangers that go with them, though.
That one was from a e-bike.
Those pictures were from that demonstration on our grounds that I just showed you.
That
But that was an
battery-
electric bike battery. Yes, it
Right.
was. So these are the common misuses. I had already mentioned DIY modifications. They're, a population of youth like to experiment, right? They like to make them go faster. Once you do that, it bypasses all of the safety standards it was met. It was not being used as designed. If there's a fire and you try to put a claim through insurance, I don't know where that's going to go, right? Because the product's being used the way it shouldn't be. Again, those signs of failure, swelling, heating, odors giving off, the shape changes. Be mindful of those. They get too hot to touch. They're telling you something. Aftermarket chargers, batteries, improper disposal in our garbage cans is not where you want to put them. Okay. So following manufacturers this is kind of where I can speed through a little bit. So see the labels on there. These are just a couple of examples. UL, Underwriters Laboratory, is one of the most popular ones on our electric products that we have and our devices and our tools. Look for labels. That means they were tested and they meet safety standards. They're tested by nationally recognized testing laboratories. There's a whole slew of regulations they have to meet. Once you modify them, change them, or buy something third party, you have now voided those safety standards, okay, which the product can fail.
So are they the only two that are accepted?
No, there's a few more. There's a few more, and in Canada and Europe, there are several, but these are going to be your most popular. Just
It's common.
look for labels with a little diagram on them. There's really nothing else that's going to interfere other than safety labels on them. Register your products with the manufacturer. If there's a safety recall or an alert, they'll notify you so you know what to do to rectify the situation. Okay, avoid overcharging. Don't leave them plugged in overnight. I know when we go to bed, you probably want your phone to work in the morning. Don't do that. Charge it when you get home instead. Unplug it before you go to bed. When you're sleeping, hopefully you have carbon monoxide and smoke alarms at work. We'll give you early warning. It's going to be your only early warning. You don't want to set yourself up for something potentially to happen while you're sleeping. You can use timers, and if you want, as reminders to unplug. Set yourself up for a new routine at night. Use original parts. Hard surfaces. Some of you, and maybe if you have kids, probably keep your phone under your pillow or close by or on your bed. If they're charged, anything with electricity generates heat no matter what. It's resistance. So how many of you, first of all, by show of hands, have charged things on soft bedding or couches? Okay, that's good. They get hot, so there is that potential. A fire can start on bedding or furniture. Avoid it. Charge on hard surfaces, and don't avoid direct sunlight too. I don't know if you've ever put your phone or iPad or something on a dashboard or outside. You even use it; they get very hot. They need to stay very cool, and then unplug the charging when you're done.
Is it unsafe for my daughter to sleep with a phone that's not plugged in on the bed?
I would avoid it anyway. It's still on. It's still on. I would keep it on hard surfaces. It still can generate heat. Computers, they have vents, and personal devices have vents. When you put them on soft bedding, it blocks the vents. The vent is designed so it can cool itself. So you put that on the bed or soft cushioning, it can overheat. So it's not best practice. Keep it on a hard surface.
And Bluetooth waves too. They're talking about that shouldn't be near your brain.
Avoid direct sunlight. So the mobility devices and cars and things, cars kind of have to, but the smaller bikes and e-scooters and hoverboards and that kind of thing, try to charge them outside, but in a ventilated area and a shady area. So direct sunlight won't make it too hot while it's already creating heat by charging. DDR is damaged, defective, and recalled batteries and products. So those are things like I was saying, the signs of failure you want to be very mindful of. If you register the product or it's on recall, stop using it and follow the directions with what you're supposed to do, getting it something new or getting it replaced. Even when we drop things, the batteries, because they're hidden in a lot of the items that we use, they can start failing inside without us knowing. And it can take days and it can take weeks before it starts showing signs of failure. If you drop something that has a lithium ion battery, be very mindful and keep an eye on it. Because if it does start showing those signs of failure, you want to stop using it and get rid of it. Fire blankets. You can find these all over. What we found with, this was also on our fire ground. We did this experiment. We actually put the fire blanket on the lithium battery. It continues to generate heat and it continues to burn until that chemical and thermal reaction stops or it's completely extinguished. And just because batteries are dead or they have been flooded with water, like that e-bike battery that you saw in our experiment, they can still have stranded energy. And what that means is it might look like it's safe, but it still is not, because it's not, that energy is not completely eliminated in it. We put those battery cells in a bucket of water and kept them there for weeks, and went and revisited the bucket of water. It was still bubbling. It has stranded energy inside of it. So your battery might be dead because your product doesn't work, but that doesn't mean there's not still energy inside of it. Again, this is why it has to be disposed of safely. And that is going to be I'm going to get there. Sorry.
How do you do that? Sounds impossible.
All right. tips. Okay. So again, we have that partnership with Solid Waste Authority. They have to go to Home Chemical Recycling Center. The catch is you have to take them there. So with your batteries, tape the terminals. Okay. Tape the area that the terminals, which is the part that generates the energy when that contact is made. That way, if it comes into contact with metal or another battery component, it doesn't start to get energized. So that tape, non-conductive, a clear packing tape, will keep it separated, those components from other battery parts, and then take it to the Home Chemical Recycling Center. There are 7 of them. 2 of them are staffed. If you don't know where to put them, you can hand them to the staff. And they have buckets of a product called Cell Block. It looks like it doesn't look like sand. Imagine like what's that yogurt, the balls or the ice cream?
Dots?
Dots. Yeah, it looks like dots. It looks like dots, but they're really tiny. So they're non-conductive, and Solid Waste Authority, we have them too at Fire Rescue. You can put the batteries in there and they get picked up and safely disposed of through the contractors at Solid Waste. Now, these can also be taken to any major retailer that sells batteries. So your Batteries Plus, your home improvement stores, they have areas by the register and by the cashiers and by the main exits where you check out or bring your returns. And they have little areas where you can actually bring the batteries and they will get them picked up. They have contracts with companies that will pick them up too. But again, tape the terminals or put them in a clear plastic bag. That way, when they are picked up, the contractor can identify if it's close to failure or not, if there's any signs of burns. These are the sites. You can go on Solid Waste Authority's website to find the locations. On the right, that call to recycle box, that's something like what you would see in one of the major big box stores, Best Buy, Lowe's, Home Depot. That's what you're going to look for. Okay. Other options are you can call to recycle now has been bought out by another battery type of company, but you can buy products online like safe bags that you will have to pay for to get delivered to put your batteries in and then ship them back. That costs you money. So if you wanted something to come to your house and you don't want to drive somewhere, that is an option. Or again, you can take them to a Home Chemical Recycling Center, big box store. Now, if you have products that are showing signs of failure at home and you're nervous about them, what you can do is you can get a bucket, a metal bucket. If you can put it in a bag, it's not too hot to touch, fill it with sand or kitty litter, and then take it to Solid Waste, but take it to one of the staff sites. The staff sites are on Beeline Road, their main site, and West Delray. Those are the staff sites during business hours, and you can tell them what you have, and they will take it. The one on Beeline Road, they have a separate, because we kind of learned a lot of this together as this evolved. They have a separate concrete outhouse with 55-gallon drums where they keep the batteries that are showing signs of failure. So they're safe, remote, and they're not near anything else while they're being waited to get picked up by the contractor. Energy storage systems. So whether it's your solar panels or you want to run your whole house on a backup energy source, or you have battery source for your electric vehicle, be so mindful of what the contractor says and the manufacturer. Whatever the rules are, follow the rules. Don't overcharge, unplug when you're done. If there's any signs of failure, the picture on, is it your right also? The Tesla battery, that's actually a call that we got on the south end of the county. It's in the garage, but it was showing signs of failure. One of the cells was failing inside. There's soot on the wall. I don't know if you can see that. It looks like a shadow. That's actual like soot, the burn remnants. Look at all the combustibles nearby in the garage. So the resident called us for some advice. We said, all right, it needs to be the energy needs to be turned off, and you need to call the contractor so they can immediately remove that battery cell while you wait for the new one and stop using it. Okay. So you have to be mindful and very aware if things are starting to show signs of failure. Okay, what does it look like when we put water on electric vehicle fire? Remember how toxic I said it was to breathe? imagine what it's doing to the environment when it's getting into the ground and where that goes, that water runoff goes, and how many gallons. Traditionally, I think we're up to about 10,000 gallons of water it can take to put out an electric vehicle. There's 2 hose streams right here. One of them might be mixed with foam. And you'll see it almost doesn't even look like it's making a dent. So not only do we have the exposure for breathing, but we have the exposure to the environment. And it almost looks like an unwinning battle. So imagine putting water on the outside of a dumpster for a dumpster fire. That's essentially what we're doing. The water or the fire is so deeply rooted into the base of the vehicle. That's where the source is. Those batteries run along the whole bottom part of the vehicle. So they're putting water in an area where they can't even barely penetrate. 10,000 gallons of water. Our trucks hold 750 gallons of water nowadays. If they're pumping 150 gallons of water per minute, how many minutes before they run out if they're not hooked up to a hydrant? This is like a seemingly endless water supply, but this is reality. In a second, you'll see a new tool that we have. Okay, this is 5 minutes. I don't know if you want to watch it or not, but with firefighter cancer research, you might find this interesting. If you want me to pass through it, I can. It's up to you. You want to start it and you tell me?
The mayor.
You can start it.
Yep. Okay.
Stand by for drilling. What you are seeing is the electric vehicle. On fire. This experiment, in collaboration with the Florida Division of State Fire Marshals, is an attempt to understand a dangerous phenomenon surrounding lithium-ion batteries.
There's over 1 billion batteries a year put into the general population. It takes every aspect of our lives, from our smartwatch, our cell phones, tablets, appliances in your kitchen.
Unlike regular fires, they burn extremely intense, with very little warning, and are incredibly difficult to put out.
The general public needs to know what they have, what they already have in their household, and potentially what they're buying. I don't mean that all these batteries are unsafe. What I mean by that is there is a potential that if there is a problem, or if you're misusing your batteries, or you have an aging battery, or you're using the wrong chargers, that you're going to have a problem. And the problem is going to be a lot bigger than what you think it may be. And it can be a deadly problem.
To understand these risks, the Firefighter Cancer Initiative at the University of Miami and their collaborators conducted tests on both individual battery cells on a full electric vehicle. For this research demonstration, lithium-ion batteries in this vehicle are of the pouch type and modular in design, and consist of many smaller pouches.
Lithium-ion batteries are a challenge in the United States, and certainly for us in the fire service, it's a fairly new type of energy that the fire service is starting to see. We're seeing it in everything from a cell phone to micromobility devices, but also EV vehicles.
We're going to break a lithium-ion battery down to a 1-cell battery, commonly known as the 18650 battery. It's the most common battery. There's about 8,000 or more of these in a EV, in the battery coils.
The cell is placed on a hot plate, exploding with significant force within seconds.
Miami-Dade.
Remnants found 30 feet away.
That's my fire department.
Now imagine the potential danger of thousands of these cells in larger devices or vehicles. As the electric vehicle catches fire, we see high pressure gas expanding from the cells. And just as we saw earlier, batteries shooting out in all directions. Complicating the situation, these fires burn intense. The amount of water to fight them shows it.
Basically 500 to 750 gallons of water for a normal family-sized car. When you're starting to see a lot of the stats with a typical EV fire, that there was 30,000 gallons used, there was 40, there was 20. It's important to realize that really the water, if it's not reaching the cells and cooling it down, you're not really putting the fire out.
Florida's division of the State Fire Marshal's Office is collaborating with Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center at the University of Miami. The goal is to understand the risk to first responders.
Electric vehicle fires actually have metals, and metals are easily connected to cancer development. And so we really want to look at how and what types of metals these firefighters come across in that fire and what we could do to ultimately protect them and the community where they're turning off these fires.
This is a huge wake-up call for us. The quicker that we can
Thank you. I think
Identify.
we've got the gist of that.
what we need.
Okay, they were using a.
Don't you use a foam
There.
to get on the electric, isn't there, instead of water?
Water's still the best they found.
Ah.
Water's still the best. And this is an evolving hazard we're still learning about. You would think Class D we even thought that in the early stages, Class D fire extinguishers were literally made to and compatible with metal fires. They can actually make the fire worse. So water is still the preference.
Mm.
And the fire blankets, those hold they hold the fire in check. They will not suppress the fire, but they will hold it in check, giving firefighters more time to evaluate and figure out the best way to approach the fire. If it's to move it out, if it's in, inside of property or inside of a building, to move it out and then remove the blanket and suppress the vehicle, or it just gives them a little bit of time, but the fire blanket itself will not suppress it.
So they're making fire blankets the size of automobiles.
They are. Yes, they are, but they are not safe. It takes several firefighters to remove them, and all of those toxic gases and the super hot flames. It's just being held underneath the blanket. And then once you remove the blanket, you get exposed to it. So it's really not a good alternative unless you're doing it quickly. You have several people to do it, and you are fully geared up in protective clothing, and you can get out of the area immediately. But otherwise, they are not the solution. Now, we just purchased a cold cut saw. Essentially, it looks like a pressure washer. It is mounted to a truck, one of our is it a high water truck vehicle at the airport, on a mounted unit, and it has two triggers. The first trigger has a beam that puts a tiny, tiny, tiny little hole in the side of the building or the area that they want to use it on to suppress, and then a stream of water comes out that follows and goes through the tiny hole. So it's meant for areas that are contained. You can fight it from the outside without exposing yourself or opening doors and windows, and releasing a lot of energy and even feeding it with more oxygen and making the fire worse. So it's actually a protective tool for our firefighters. And what it is very, very high pressure water stream, but low volume. So 10,000 gallons of water versus 400 gallons of water, I would say, is very significant and very successful in extinguishing it. And there's 2 videos in here, so you'll see our firefighters practicing with it. Because it is high pressure, just like our fire hoses. You're going to need more than one firefighter to safely use it. That is a tiny little hole that they've used to penetrate glass. They use it on doors. It works through concrete. They have it at the airport. They can use it for airplanes. And they actually had a successful suppression incident. It's still airport property, but it was outside of the airport grounds, and they used it on an electric vehicle, and it was just hundreds of gallons of water versus tens of thousands of gallons of water. So it is a tool that we have started using and we have on our unit. And this is just as our hazards change and our risk and exposure changes, our technology needs to, and our practices as well. So they're just using it on a door right there. Okay. So register your products, follow the directions, watch for those warning signs, discontinue use, make sure your smoke and carbon monoxide alarms are working, sleep with your bedroom doors closed, because that could be a good barrier to let you get out a second way if you do have a fire, and practice a home escape plan. So I think that is it. And there you go. All right. Thank you very much.
That was a terrific presentation. I encourage all the residents to watch that online after the meeting, if you didn't catch it today.
Do we have that link for them? Do we have a link that we can post on the website?
It's on YouTube. This is on YouTube, though.
I know, but if they don't know where to, they know it's on YouTube, but rather we have a link from our website to YouTube.
And we have a lot more information that you don't want me standing here reading or talking about on our website at pbcfr.org.
Thank you.
Speaking of fire blankets, I presume is that best practice to have one at home, like for?
No.
No,
No.
not for like a kitchen
No.
fire or anything?
No, actually, nor are fire extinguishers, although you'll get mixed messages with that. We'd actually prefer that you all get out and call 911, closing doors on the way to contain the fire and smoke, and then call us. Because a lot of times what happens is people go searching for those fire blankets or those fire extinguishers. They may not know how to use them or work the fire extinguishers. They can push and spread the fire, make it worse. They're wasting time. They forget to call us. They forget to evacuate people. Although cooking fires are the #1 cause of home fires, quicker way to put it out, honestly, is just to put a lid on it.
Yep.
Or a cookie sheet, turn the heat off. Ovens and microwaves, keep the door closed, turn the heat off. It's cleaner, it's safer, it's quicker. You can get out, call us, and we have big fans that we can use to blow the smoke out. Done. Thank you.
Thank you.
very
That
much.
was excellent. Thank you. By the way, Chief, I want to, next time I do the Fire Ops 101, I want to use that Cobra cold cut.
Good luck.
Let's see. We have no quasi judicial proceedings. And next we have the first reading of ordinance 2603.
Okay, you can read?
You can.
All right. This first reading by title only of ordinance number 2603, an ordinance of the town council of the town of Lake Clark Shores, Florida, amending chapter 46 solid waste, article 1 in general, section 46-13 bulk and vegetative waste of the code of ordinances of the town of Lake Clark Shores, in order to provide the vegetative waste and yard trash shall be placed for collection not earlier than 72 hours prior to collection, providing for inclusion in the code of ordinances of the town, providing a conflict clause, a severability clause, providing an effective date, and for other purposes.
Staff presentation?
Yes, thank you. At last meeting, it was asked for staff to do two things. One was to produce an ordinance that changed our vegetation hours from 24 hours to 72 hours, and that's in front of you. And secondly, was to give you some history of where
Thank
we
you.
went back.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Take care. How we went back and forth in history, and we've given you a little history in 96. We were at 48 hours. Then we changed something in 98. And 2020, we went back to the 24 hours. So, and we also surveyed the cities. What we found out there was their common practice. So we put some pros and cons and some options on changing the hours. So really, it's for you guys to discuss and give us some guidance.
Any audience comments? Council comments?
Joe, has it ever been, because I'm reading in here, is this before no vegetative waste larger than 4 inches or 10 centimeters in diameter or longer than 5 feet or 1.5 meters or heavier than 50 pounds shall be placed for collection? Is this for, this isn't for the bulk with the claw, correct? Or is this within garbage cans or?
No, this is this is with the bulk with the claw. Many decades ago, they started limiting the size and contracts for solid waste haulers because of just the cost. We have a great hauler with WM that usually doesn't listen to that provision, and they just pick up what they see. But there is a size limitation, and it's pretty standard in the industry now.
I know I have that in an area with a different provider. Have we ever enforced that? Have they ever enforced it? I don't think so.
Hardly ever. Sometimes they tag them. We call it tagging when it's really, really big. And we encourage that if they believe it's just too big to get their own private hauler or to make some kind of arrangements with WM. But does it happen often? Honestly, no.
Does that have a bearing, how much they collect on the cost for service?
Yeah, it was part of the negotiations
Yeah.
that our town has a lot of vegetation.
Sure. Which, means they're keeping things up. But it could just, I guess, if you're gonna, we had this discussion earlier, it all comes down to enforcement. I mean, there's stuff out there now, right now, today. This is Tuesday. It got picked up yesterday, and this is just coming from Forest Boulevard to go to my house to come here. So, that, to me, that seems to be the key. Of course, we want them maintaining things. I mean, who doesn't? But we also had that discussion. I would say 90% of the people in Lake Clark Shores do not do their own landscaping. And I don't know that to be a fact, but I'll be willing to bet my over under on it that it is. So that's my discussion. I think 24 hours, and I was reading through the other towns that do it and all that kind of stuff. 24 hours, if you are that person who does your own yard work, is not a lot of time. Now, if you're gonna, like we talked earlier, if you're gonna break it down and do it, little by little, but what do the bosses like to see, right? They want to see uniformity. They don't want you to trim that hedge over there this week and next week trim the other hedge. You would be a boss. So those are my thoughts.
I tend to agree. And if since bulk or since vegetative, I want to distinguish between vegetative and bulk, because we're now giving everybody 3 days to put out their vegetative, but we're still maintaining 1 day for bulk. That means your mattresses and your sofas and your old grill can only go out on Sunday. But if you are doing your own lawn, you're probably doing it on the weekend. So this works very well for you. If you have a yard service, and we see them all day long up and down the street, they cannot leave their vegetation out at all. They're supposed to take it with them. So if vegetation is out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, it's highly likely that it was done by a landscaper.
Correct.
And it should not be there.
So, I have no problem with the, making it 72 hours, and we don't have to follow suit with everybody else, because the county's the only one that comes close to the 72 hours. The concern is just, I'm all for the 72 hours, but most of the people that have those piles are usually people follow up from their landscaper. You get a nice wind or a nice storm and you have your problem, and that's why they end up doing it. So I agree with, Greg, that most of it is 90%. It's also keeping it off the street. And regardless the size of the pile, that's been an issue about impeding the traffic, because I know a lot of people put out the size of the pile and it's not that big of a pile, but if it's hanging out in the street, and that could be a problem. Also, the secondary is the landscapers. Landscapers are supposed to be responsible for taking their own stuff, and sometimes they try to, I say, bamboozle the residents and saying, "Oh, we'll do it for cheaper," and most of our contractors know that they're not supposed to do it. So, I don't know if there's anything that we can do from a education standpoint, whether it's a handout, a card, post something again. I know a lot of people going online, but a lot of people don't know. Like the people that are putting this stuff out now in the middle of the week. Some of them may not know. Most people know, and I'll give you that, but there are some people that just, they get that palm frond from a storm and they just put it out rather than just waiting. So if we can do better in educating, or get more information out to educate them, we're doing our part. But I'm all for allowing the 72 hours.
I have a question. So I know there's the E, not letter D anymore, letter E.
Yeah.
The waste can't go out when it's been declared that there's going to be a tropical storm watch, or when we're under actual warning. Do we do something here where we tell people to go and clear anything prior?
Yes.
Isn't that part of like hurricane preparedness? What do we do?
Twofold.
Yeah, but it's funny, people do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're nervous energy. They just do it.
Trust me,
We've seen it before.
Twofold is we obviously educate. We throw out those email blasts about this is the time to bring your garbage in. There'll be flying objects. And secondly, we actually survey the town and we pick up the stuff.
I was gonna say, we have
Yeah.
a small enough area that we can.
If we see anything that's very dangerous, we'll pick it up because we don't want anything flying and hurting anybody.
Okay.
But that's just part of the protocol. But it's, you don't get everything. So education. We throw those email blasts out and say, please don't leave anything out. Those are flying objects and they can hurt you or your neighbors.
Did we have like a significant amount of sighting of this in the past year? I mean, was there someone out there like measuring if the waste was larger than 4 inches? I mean, when it does happen, how frequent is it?
I don't think that's a problem. Like I said, we have a good provider, a good vendor through WM that'll pretty much pick up the
It
load.
has to be a significant situation.
Right. It's just mainly they're, as Greg says, they're putting it out anytime during the week instead of waiting.
Twice where Waste Management has tagged a pile and then they come back because they just don't have the capacity to take all that day. So what they do, because they are good, because their collection on the north side is different than it is on the south side.
On days, different.
So
days.
that creates an issue
What are
for
their
the
days?
north side people.
Emily would help me.
They're
but
the day after
We're
us.
trying to get it all,
The address.
Yeah.
the other day after, we're trying to get it all one day. So it's less confusing because we're one town, but.
Which is where some of this originated from. The people who are only getting 24 hours, their day is on Tuesday. That means they got to do that on a Monday. It's not happening. Even like I said, even if there are those that are doing their own. So, and I'm sure throughout there are some. So it helps them too. The same day collection for everybody would be awesome.
We're trying
That
that.
would be great.
Yeah.
So,
I'll
but I
let you
think
know.
that how that came about, Joe, was because of capacity, because Lake Clark Shores has always been well maintained from a landscaping perspective.
Mhm.
And everybody likes it. People comment about it and they look at it. So, and I told you these discussions that I had with Dan, there's a problem in not enforcement. And then there's a problem with enforcement. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you still want them to maintain and take care of it. There just has to be some happy medium, I think. So,
True.
I think the happy medium is giving everybody half a week to put it out.
well, I think if we could all get on the same day, having Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to do your job, like me personally, if you go by my house, I got the big gardenias and I have a big boob. They get trimmed once a year. That's it. And it usually comes once all the flowers have fallen off the gardenia or there's nothing left. I just trim them back and I do that. And I do that myself. So, you know, it's nice to have those few days because I'll do one day, one the next day, and then the other one the other day, and you can get it and put it out. So I didn't know that you were working on getting everybody on the same day because some of the concerns I had from the people on the north side was, hey, our day is Monday. Blah, 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 blah.
We've
So,
been working on that for, Emily can help me, maybe, yes, more than 6
well, when
months.
you see Megan on
Yeah,
the thing, we're gonna
Please.
talk with her.
please. And Jeff.
And that's gonna be the fourth Wednesday, correct? The swearing in of the new president for the League of Cities?
Yes,
She'll be there.
yes.
All right.
As a property owner in West Palm Beach, I'm quite familiar with how they operate. And they're very strict. And if you put your pile out on the wrong day, there is a neon orange spray painted X across the pile, which means it's not going to get picked up.
Mhm.
And you pay $175 to get a special pickup, or you load it in the back of your
Maserati.
your Maserati and bring it back into Lake Clark Shores.
No, we don't want
That
that. But they do.
And it's also if the pile is too big,
Right.
orange X.
I mean, you're never.
So
gonna
we're
accept
pretty
it.
we're pretty lenient,
We are. Like I said.
and we need
event.
residents. We're giving grace, and we need residents to follow through and instruct their landscapers.
And I think the diameter is to prevent large trees from being put in it, being
mean
cut
like
down and being.
50-foot
flat.
royal palms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
pretty big.
Oh,
So, Joe, just one last thing before we move on.
yes.
So this is the first reading.
Correct.
We'll make a motion to accept the
I
first
will.
reading. and
Yeah,
we'll bring
that's-
back the second reading. So I'll make the motion that we accept the first reading and put in the provision that we move it to the 72 hours, excuse me. And then still the 24 hours for putting out mattresses and, you know, it amazes me to think you can.
We-
No,
we've
we
done-
did.
we
We
did
haven't
it.
done
Pick
it.
it up.
Oh, I know.
It's just,
And they go
Thanks, I
on
couldn't
Sunday, so it's a good day to put it out
I
anyway.
know, it's
The-
just amazing.
Young brain.
Okay.
The first reading already has 72 hours in it,
Well,
So you don't-
he was giving us the options.
right? If we want to change.
Mayor, could
Yeah.
you
So-
take audience comment before we take it?
Oh, do we have a comment?
No, but you just have to ask.
Oh, okay. Do you
Yeah.
have any audience comments? Yes, we do. Please come on up.
Well, you can talk from there and we will.
She can,
Yeah, I'll get you the mic.
Mike.
Joe's coming. Hold on.
Can I sit with you?
You
Mhm.
can, absolutely.
He's blushing.
They didn't pick up most of my trash today. They just left it in the street. And I don't know what's going on, but I don't find it's very efficient.
Was it yard waste or garbage can?
It was, well, they emptied the garbage can. I had the two recycle bins with some empty bottles, etc. And I had newspapers in one of them. And it's back in my garage.
I think recycling is Friday.
That's why.
Recycling only comes around one day a week on Friday.
Truck.
Not on Tuesdays?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
So Tuesday and Friday, they pick up your garbage, but Friday is recycles only.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second to approve the first reading of ordinance 2603?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, we want to discuss the resolution 2607, establishing a defined contribution plan and a deferred compensation plan.
You skipped the contract,
Letter B.
Pardon me?
CBA.
You skipped letter B.
B is in Bravo.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, approval of collective bargaining agreement with the Police Benevolent Association.
Thank you, Mayor. Usually I've done many of these and just want to congratulate the hard work that the labor union and the officers did by negotiating this, we believe, a fair contract that we're presenting in front of you. We've been working on it for 6 to 9 months, believe it or not. You all have been involved in that because it was a big change from, we didn't know what kind of retirement plan we would end up with, a defined benefit or a defined contribution. But I think everyone did a great job of getting a fair contract. Just so the whole audience understands is we were basically, this is the market and our police department was not even in the market. So I'm proud to say we're now in the bottom of the market, but we're in the market. And by doing that, a few highlights are, the starting salary went from 58,000 to 73,000 for officers. We changed and adjusted 6 or 7 of our officers from 73 to 93,000, resulting in $115,000 in annual cost. And the other big one was, again, was the retirement. We didn't go with a defined benefit, but we increased their defined contribution from 9% to 20%, and that's costing about $128,000 on an annual basis. So we're substantially and materially contributing to the welfare of the police department, and we believe it's a good investment. So we're recommending approval of this new CBA contract. If you have any questions.
Great job and in keeping both sides happy. And I'm told that morale is very strong. So
Thank you.
I would, if there, any discussion?
No, I support it. I think it's a great contract. I think we're moving forward. Now we're going to hopefully get some more new blood in here and move forward as far as our staffing is concerned and get more coverage because these guys been working thin. So it's well overdue and their compensation is well deserved. So I support the finally getting them on track and in line with at least in the market. I know we don't need to be in the top of the market, but we need to be competitive so we can bring people in because we couldn't even get people in the door. So that was the most difficult thing. I think it's excellent. I think it's a well compensated and shows that the community shows that we're well-respected police department, but so they can not only they're better protected, but the community's better protected as well. So I'm sure we're going to get some higher quality, we're going to get some high quality people. We do have high quality people as well, but continue that level of staffing so we can start making our town safer and better and because of the coverage. It's not that we're not, it's that we're just shorthanded. So maybe hopefully we'll get some more people in the water.
Any other comments?
No.
I do. Joe, talk to us about reimbursement, tuition reimbursement. There's no time frame on there. So let's say we pay for this tuition and things of that nature, and then they go. I know that I thought we had something in place before that if we invested, there had to be a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Would that be a consideration? It's
they-
Article 19.
Yeah, they follow our personnel manual, and it's, I don't know it by heart, but in our personnel, it's very
Yeah,
common.
Apology, I
that-
just know, I thought we had something in.
Yeah,
there.
if Emily's around, if she can memorize it, I can't, but it's not in this contract. It's in our personnel manual, and it's common where if you don't, if you leave within a certain period of time, you have to reimburse it.
Okay, so it is somewhere within.
I believe it's in the personnel manual. I can't, I don't remember, but.
You might want to find that.
But it's not in this contract, just says it follows.
Yeah,
the
no, I'm
towns.
just, but as I was reading through it, that was
But-
one of the things that.
so we- So we could change the provision in the personnel manual, just so you know,
But not in this contract.
not in this contract.
But I mean, that could go for staff in town hall as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
utilities.
I'm
not just
pretty,
the PD.
I'm pretty sure it's in there, but
Yeah.
like I said, I just can't
I'm-
tell you for sure.
I think so too. So, okay, I was just wondering.
Sure.
Would anyone like to make a motion approving the proposed collective bargaining agreement?
I'll make the motion to consider approval of the proposed collective bargaining agreement with Palm Beach County PBA.
Second.
All in,
Okay. I make a motion to approve the proposed collective bargaining agreement with Palm Beach County Police Benevolent Association.
thank,
Still second.
thank you, Mary, for keeping us in Robert's rules. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay.
Thank you, Mary, for listening.
Where are we now?
We're now on
C.
C.
Okay, finally we get to D.
C.
C.
He doesn't catch.
C, that's, sorry. I need glasses.
I do too.
Take, take it away, town manager.
Okay. As you know, I just stated, we changed our retirement from the 9% to the 20%. So obviously, we started contacting our current provider, and we found out maybe this might be a time to look at other providers. So we did. And I had staff involved, and any contract that we sign with another provider, it really doesn't cost the town anything because the service fees are what pay for the service providers. So we did get 2 presentations from the League of Cities. I invited all the employees in there, and I have to put a disclosure on there where I am on the board of the Florida League of Cities Advisory Committee. I've been on the board for about 20 years. I'm currently serving as the chair. It's a non-financial compensated role, but I just put that in there for the record. But we had 2 meetings. I tried to stay out of it, but they unanimously said we should make a move. Instead of going to 3 different firms, this is all in one house. The league has a lot of, out of the 400 municipalities, I think they have about 100 of them, almost 100 municipalities that they deal with some kind of retirement for them. It's very successful. It's in the billions. Like I said, I'm on this committee. So their fees would go down about $8,000, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is when you divide it by that many employees. So we are recommending changing the provider. So the motion's kind of long, sorry, but it's certifying these and approving, thank you, Mayor, these resolutions and us giving me the authority to cancel the agreements for the current 401A retirement plans.
I think anything that saves money and keeps the staff happy is well worth considering. Any comments?
No, and I think, I don't know, it doesn't cost the town money, it saves them money.
Right.
Correct.
right.
So, yeah, I'm 100% support. I believe both of those plans are well funded because I'm familiar with both of them. And I hope all the employees, including the law enforcement, consider the 457s because they're can be a better nest egg because it helps them invest their money for their future retirement. The 401s are good, and they're more safer, but the other ones, I know I've dealt with both of them. They could be beneficial in helping you prepare for a retirement.
Do we inform them of what the difference is?
The employees?
Yes.
Yes, we had two meetings. The second,
It's sort of taken for granted sometimes in some work environments that.
Yeah.
no, we invited everyone, and we had good participation at the meetings.
Okay.
May I get a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve Resolution 2607, establishing a defined contribution plan and deferred compensation plan with Florida Municipal Pension Trust Fund. Waive the bidding requirements due to not being advantageous to the town and authorize the town manager to cancel the agreements with the current 401A retirement plan providers.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Mayor,
Thank you.
there was one thing that I wanted to consider while we were talking about, I don't know, it's too late at this point. We're doing all this stuff for our law enforcement and now also for our employees. If we might want to consider bumping up what we put in, the town puts in for into the plan.
I meant to bring that up at the time. I didn't put it in my notes.
No,
I think that our lieutenant is just superb, and she's been with us for 18 years.
I was talking more.
About the-
Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry.
We're not to that stage
Oh, I'm
yet.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'll bring that up next then.
We currently, Joe,
What you want me to explain that?
yes.
Okay. Like I said, we contribute 9% for general employees. If we change, this doesn't include police or myself because I have a contract. So if we change 1%, each percent would cost $6,200 for the general fund and $6,900 approximately for the utilities fund. So
For all employees annually.
for all employees except me and the police department.
So it'd be 6,000 a year to add 1%.
Right.
I don't know, what
For general fund and another
It would,
6,900.
it would be silly not to do that for them.
I would like to make it a little bit more. I don't know if there's a will on the council, but I'd like to consider 2 or 3%, whatever because I think it's well worth it. They're well deserving. It hasn't been done, and correct me if I'm wrong, more, Joe said forever, but I'm saying it's been more than 10 years.
Right.
I think it's a nice statement and for recognition of the employees and what they do and preparing them for retirement. So even if we did 3%, we're looking at 20,000 or 40,000 total a year. And if you divide that by the number of employees and what they've not been getting, I think that's a very small investment, but a very rewarding one because I think it's well deserved. And we see what they do every day, every week, every event. They come here and volunteer all the time. So I think I'd like the council to consider a 3% if somebody wants to amend it or change it. But I think the town can afford giving them the 3% as a.
Joe, how's the turnover been it hasn't been great in the town hall. I mean, your staff is pretty situated right now, right?
We've had some turnover in the building department, but and utilities.
Well, utilities, I was just
Yeah.
talking about your town hall staff. Your
Town-
building department would be the town hall staff.
Yeah,
But
the
Oh, he said billing it. Did you say building or billing?
Building.
building,
Okay, sorry.
building. Sorry if I didn't say that correct. Building.
Can't hear, can't
Blind
see.
and deaf.
But no, we have a great staff and
How about in utilities? What's our
yeah, we've had a lot of
look like there?
yeah, really pretty bad. We had like the deputy left, as you know, Robert.
Sure.
And a lot of the
Is that probably not because of a defined contribution? Not that I'm against it because I'm not, but is that more pay scale?
just better opportunities. It's not a high paying job. So we just hired 2 new this year and they're working out great. And so I'd love to see them stay and make a career here.
Does that vest immediately?
No, that's one of the changes. It was a material change, but I didn't change. What we had in the past was some silly thing I'd never seen in my life where you had to wait. The enrollment it was only twice a year. So if you were hired at a certain time of the year, you had to wait. Sorry, it happened to the chief. So I've never seen that. FRS, Florida Retirement System, all the others, it's immediate.
Yeah.
You start contributing to your retirement immediately. So that one of the
Is that
changes
part of the provider or part of our policy?
was part of our policy. So we changed that for the union negotiation. So that was memorialized with that motion. So we believe we changed that and the vesting to a straight 5 years. So you're here, if you're here 5 years, you're vested. You get 20% a year.
I think we all would like to do the most possible, but Councilmember Keating made a statement that, the 3% we certainly can afford. What are your thoughts on that?
I always try to keep market data in there in the market. And it's all over the place. And obviously I've shared that with most of you. It's hard to say what's the fair or what's the market on this. Police they were way out of the market. I mean, they weren't even close. Florida retirement system at 27%. We were at 9%. But there's some cities like North Palm, it's 15%. There's other cities that are 20%, and then there's 8 or 9. So it's hard to, and when you're comparing defined benefits with defined contributions, how do you really do that when defined benefits could be, right now it's 11.87 on Florida retirement system, but next year it could be 8% or 15%. So you really can't compare. It's hard to do. I even asked some vendors to help me with this, to give you some good data. But I don't see a problem with 2-3%. I mean, I think that's very fair.
So now in our discussions that we've had,
What you're saying?
we've talked about that. Just tell us or help everybody who's going to be watching understand what could be coming down from Tallahassee and where does that leave us after we've made these motions and we've done all of this. I'm hoping and praying that everybody's smart enough to see, but it's a real possibility that we need to consider. And you're our bean counter, Joe.
It is a scary possibility, and obviously, I'm monitoring that with the league. I'm actually talking to them, what they're thinking. You guys know some more than me. You saw the speaker of that house.
Just at the
Yeah, and
yesterday.
you can see he's definitely on one side of this argument.
Baker County's going away.
He's cutting. So
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, very scary.
I just still think we have to be in the market. So I'm all about the market. If we're not in the market, you lose quality people. You don't lose the non-quality employees. Not that we have any, but you lose the highest quality employees when you're not in the market. So you have to be in.
Mary must love us because she's been here a long time.
She does love us.
And we love Mary back.
Yes,
Do
we
we,
do.
And we want to keep Mary.
How do we amend what we just said, or?
It's you just. He's the town attorney, but I think they could just do another motion saying, I'd like to change the general from 9% to whatever percent.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should do that.
Okay, I'll make a motion to increase the, for the general employees, their defined contribution by 3%, which raises it from 9% to 12%.
Yes.
I will second that.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
The ayes have it.
Thank you.
I want to circle back because I meant to mention this after we talked about the collective bargaining agreement. We do have 2 officers who were not included in that agreement. The chief and the lieutenant. I especially want to commend Dana because yesterday and today she was at Target buying clothes and I presume toys or whatever for the 2 young children, 8 and 10 years old, who lost their home. She's a gem. She hasn't been, we did a big jump to get the officers up to par. And I think that, I think we should consider like 15% for Dana. I mean, she's just, she is the definition of community policing at its best. And our chief, he's been with us for about a year now. So, someone like Dana had many years without a significant raise or any raise at all. I would propose that the chief get, well, I guess raises for the officers are 4% a year going forward after this bump up. So I would say like 5% for the chief.
What does that represent? All right, let's just say Dana first. Joe, what does that represent to us in dollars?
Could you go through what your thought process was? I'm sorry.
Me?
No, Joe.
Sure.
'Cause he elaborated more in the email. Why?
Again, it's the same market driven. So the same thing is they're not in the market, both those positions. When I brought the chief in, Dana's way under the market. So let's just talk about the chief. When I brought the chief in, I couldn't bring him in market. I explained to him that I'm going to have to bring you under market because all the other officers are under market. So that wouldn't be fair to put you in market when the other officers were. So I was happy enough, and thank you, chief, for letting him take the job.
All the gray hair though.
For taking the job, because we
Comes with the territory.
we have an excellent chief now, and we had an excellent chief in Chief West for a long time too. We've been very fortunate. So that was the compromise he made and the negotiating that I did with him to bring him under market. But now that the officers are on the bottom of the market, I think we should bring him up into the bottom of the market, just like we want to do with Dana. So that's why I made that recommendation, what I did. It comes into effect, but you guys can adjust it.
What was the percentage that law enforcement officers got? Average.
On average, they got 22%.
And so you're proposing 10% for the chief and 13% for Dana.
Correct.
Okay. I'm okay with those numbers.
I'm gonna just ask, I know there was a long union process for the
Mhm.
officers. Has there been any discussion with Dana or Chief England about these numbers?
No, I thought about that, but I didn't know where this would go. So I normally, I meet with them and I see what they think they should be at. And obviously I try to get there, but I'm not always there. But obviously, I thought this would be a fair to get them in the bottom of the market, the 10 and 13%.
So are you thinking that they were looking for more?
Yes, they were both looking for more. Yes. to
Okay.
say-
Who's not always looking for?
Exactly.
No, but
That's their
because,
job.
we haven't raised these
You're talking
salaries.
to
in a-
people who make
we-
$100 a month.
Right. Sorry about that.
Well, and didn't you want to, is it my also understanding that we used to have an assistant, we used to have an assistant chief, so we're actually spending less money on the overall management component.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we used to have, thank you for bringing that up. So everybody hears, we had in the past, we had a chief, an assistant chief, and the lieutenant, which is the same lieutenant. But now we've been running for over a year, and I talk to the chief obviously on a day-to-day basis, and we seem to be in agreement that we still want more officers on the street. So we'd like to see it keeping that way for the foreseeable future. Obviously, things can change, but for the foreseeable future, we'd like to keep two in management, which is a chief and whatever we call Dana in the future, because obviously she's a gem, and she's not going to be labeled as the lieutenant forever.
and I believe the chief is working with her on a succession plan to move, because she's taking education requirements to help her prepare for leadership within the role of the police
We're
department.
investing in her, and she's investing in her future with us.
And she's already invested in this town.
17 years. She's been with
Yeah.
the town for 17 years.
She's longer than most of us.
And Dana get take-home vehicles?
Yes, they do. Yeah, and that's
Clear in the
and no, it's okay. And that's a standard. It's a standard of the
Listen,
industry.
Catered for everybody to get them.
Yeah,
You remember?
it's
It's just one of those things.
Can I entertain a motion for the town council to get take-home vehicles?
yes.
No, I'm
No, wait a
kidding.
minute.
I'm
You
kidding.
ask him.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Listen,
I'm
you can
kidding.
always pass them down. Your motion.
But
I'm very happy with my alpha.
didn't you also say that because of this, we have more in reserve? So this is really not a hit to the budget or a big hit to the budget? Because we've worked with one less. By increasing them, we're still working under what we used to. I know we're also got the salaries of the law enforcement officers to include in this, but from a management's perspective, you're actually not spending as much as you had in the
We're
past.
definitely not spending as much as management because of 3 position versus 2. We'd like to put.
We're a small town. We don't really need 3 managers.
We seem to agree with you. At this time, we agree with you.
Dana has not heard this number though.
Neither of them have heard this number.
So what would that process look like if you are going to go back and present that to them? I understand it's not like working with the unions, but I feel like there's a fairness in letting them still their lives and their jobs.
It's government in the sunshine and council management form again. It's so weird, isn't it? So it's me trusting me and thinking what I think is fair, looking at the market, and that's what I presented to you. And then telling them tomorrow that this is what they got and this is what I thought they should get. And I'll, obviously update you in the future if that goes sour, because I hate to lose either one of them. because they're,
Okay, so I
they're-
guess let me ask like this. You said that they both wanted more.
yes.
Are we allowed to know what that more was based on what you presented to
It-
us?
Yeah, at least 15%. I heard that number.
For both positions?
Mhm.
I would be very happy to see Dana get 15%.
Um,
She's a treasure.
I'm good with that.
Makes his life easier.
Yeah. I, I can
Any-
change mine to 10 to 15%. I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
Hmm?
I'm okay with changing my recommendation to 10 for the chief and 15 for the lieutenant.
Greg?
Yeah, no, listen, it's been a long time coming for everybody here. It was even harder back then, trying to get anybody how it was before. Wes dealt with that on a regular basis. You still have hair. He lost all of it. And that's what happens. But Joe, you do know that's what we're faced with in this community. It's
It
not a
is.
struggle, but it's a challenge for sure. And it's not like this is the first time that we've looked at something like this. So,
May I mention something that's
yes,
important?
sir, please.
One external factor obviously is, and it's a big one, is that you mentioned was the legislature, really doing something that's devastating to municipalities. But the other,
Change so many
Mhm.
things. that,
Right.
I mean, like, you can't just take this
thank you.
Yes.
piece of it.
But
so-
Yes.
but the other external factor is very important too to mention is we're going to be, general fund is going to be debt free in a year and a half. So that $172,000 that's an annual payment that year, every year will go away. And that's how I've always proposed that we're going to fund these changes and support and keep building a professional police department and have the police department we can in this town. So that's how this is going to fund this in the long run. So you know me, I'm very frugal and very cost wise, as you can see, as the team is doing. And thank you for mentioning that, Mayor, that the millage rate's going down, but we're still going up. Even with the biggest project that we ever had in history, award-winning bridge. We're pretty healthy. So I'd love to see the 10 and 15% as a motion, and I think we'll be done.
I'll make the motion to propose the police chief gets a 10% raise and the lieutenant gets a 15% as proposed by
Thank you.
town manager Joe Labella.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
We're gonna hear that a lot. It has made me laugh every time you
How about the motion passes? Would you like that better?
It's great.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the discussion about changes to the town charter. But when I had lengthy conversations with Charlie a week or two ago, and I don't think
We can skip the first one. Mayor. We can skip the first.
I would like to punt on that. till-
Yeah, we can skip the first one because it's the cleanup ordinance
And it's
and
been
we can't
complete.
actually vote on it tonight because we didn't use a date certain. We're going to advertise it for the next June meeting, so we could skip it, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So
Did-
then,
Did you want to talk about the second one?
yeah, absolutely. We want to
Okay.
talk about changes to the town charter. It says term limits, but the correct word would be term length. We're just, and runoff election.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Thank you. Good catch.
And I'm gonna jump in front of you here because I have some, what I think is very good news.
Okay.
Everybody knows I love to network and the Forum Club, which is coming up. But I've run in twice in the last 2 weeks into Wendy Sartori Link, the supervisor of elections. And I've spoke with her about what we were contemplating. I said 3 or 4 years, and she says, you've got to do 4 years because if you put it on the same year as the PPP, the presidential primary, she says the cost will be de minimis. Because that's held in March.
Right, we have to do it in March, yes.
It would be in March.
Okay.
We wouldn't have to pay for sheriffs and transportation and staffing and poll workers and
Yes.
secure intake and collection center. All of that stuff would already be paid for under the presidential primary. The only costs that we would pay for are some printing costs and costs for people who want to vote by mail or are NPA and want to party or NPA that want to vote by mail. She says it will be really cheap for us.
Great information.
No, I concur. That was my lean into from a 3-year to a 4-year was primarily because of the election costs, not
And-
because of us.
And I'm only coming from costs.
We
I- this-
know Joe Frugal.
This is
Yeah.
Also has
political.
lovely counsel.
Yes,
You've worked
I
with
love you all.
It's
I
not
love you all, but costs
You tell
matters
us,
for
Taylor.
cost. So that's great news.
Yeah, we didn't know that. That was new news.
No, I didn't know that at all. So yes. And a lot of cities have, as the survey states, a lot of cities have gone to the 4 years. And we even, when we surveyed,
More with 3 than 4, but
yeah, but there's a lot of people moving to the 4 years.
I'm
so,
okay with.
You guys decide.
I mean, and, you know,
trying
elections
to
cost
say
us $15,000, $25,000.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm putting it out there. I gathered information. It's for y'all to consume.
Okay. Well,
So
just-
we'll consider and consume that the next time because we just tabled that portion, right? Or
No, we know.
No,
we-
this is-
That
We
part
tabled
we
the,
can talk
No,
about.
that-
for the amendment.
No.
the changes.
I see, okay.
To remind you all, by July, we have to tell Bill and Charlie, we want to get an ordinance together to put it on, because we have to pass an ordinance and then we have to figure the language in the referendum, and we have to get it before November probably, to get it on the ballot for March. So that's
Well,
why,
that we'd have to pay for because it's not a PPP year.
yeah, but yes.
That's just
Right.
life.
Yes, but we definitely, there is a time limit on this. You got time. I'm not rushing you, but you
Like when-
you should have a decision by July to give us guidance so we can come up with an ordinance.
Would that be a special election during that time?
No.
For that, or?
No, it's a regular
And
election.
then we could consider the 4 years after the fact? Because how is that rotating everybody in gonna work out with the presidential election?
No, we have to figure out everything in that we have to figure out how we're going
Right,
to stage
that's
it.
what I'm
Yeah,
That's why he's saying July. That's why you have to figure it out to have it by November.
Yeah, you just have to tell us 3 or 4 years or don't change, whatever. And you want to copy that. Good news that we just found out by the mayor. Thank you. And we can try to copy that.
You'll
Format.
still have staggered terms, as
Yeah.
far, you're not all gonna come up at one time, so you're
Right.
not gonna all hit the
Is there-
presidential.
Is there a reason why we couldn't all come up at one time?
There legally, no, but generally you want to keep some
Consistent.
continuity and,
Yeah, if they voted everybody out and
Yeah.
have a whole new council, it'd be
Yeah.
dangerous.
Pretty, yes.
I mean,
Well, if you
With-
wipe this clean, all new
with-
people can.
Right, no, I get it. I get
with
it.
age comes some wisdom.
But there's savings anyway. It doesn't have to meet every time, but if we get some savings, so I'm still good with it.
Yeah, some
but you
say
guys-
it's better-
There's no cons to this at all in your life.
I love.
It's all about the dollars and cents.
Okay.
So your preference 3 or 4 years? Now,
Given
you-
this information, I lean towards 4, but I'm open to the,
I can live with 4 years. I mean.
I can live
that's
with-
Time for Joe.
I-
I mean that seriously.
I'm only 48.
What do you think, Taylor?
I think it's great for us.
Uh-huh. I'm good with
Well,
4.
this is a
but
future
things-
thing. This is a future.
Of course,
Right.
of
Your
course.
future is much brighter than, let's say, mine.
Of course, but I just, I try and think of the fairness of that to the
Mm.
residents as well, if there's somebody that isn't doing a great job up here. But I understand why all of us sitting up here think it sounds really great. And from a financial perspective, of course, but it's a big jump for me.
Yeah. Is there a recall process? Should the residents decide that one of us is not doing a job or we should be?
It's not in our charter, so you would follow the Florida statute.
it is currently in our charter that
I mean,
we
outside
can
of like
remove
criminal
somebody.
activity or
Right.
someone, being investigated by the ethics
Right.
commission.
Right.
We have, as the council, we have the ability to remove another council member.
It's
Not something I ever want to do,
Is that,
That's because you
It's-
have a good council with you, but.
but we have an
try
excellent
and-
council.
Try and not have one and then see where your feelings will change quickly.
well, you seem a little bit tight-lipped over there. You have something you want to say, Joe?
No, I'm trying to stay out of it because it's political, but obviously,
I-
listen to my neighbor right here.
I just-
because
To represent the residents' best interest, not my own up here
Right.
in this vote.
100%.
Have you heard anything regarding this?
I just don't think it is the norm that everyone's moving to this 4-year
Mm.
thing, even with the financial piece.
There was more than that was in 3 years when we did the
Three.
analysis.
3 is the norm right now. And until they're all going to 4 because they're just trying to save money, I don't see why we would jump in that direction. And I also feel like this is a very lightly attended meeting.
Mhm.
And when people hear about this, they're going to have a lot to say about it. You're
That-
just not hearing it.
that-
tonight.
No, I get
Let's
you.
invite.
That's my tight-lipped comments. You
Let's
made-
invite
said it
comments
perfect.
next
Well,
time.
I can't wait to
But-
hear it
but-
next
right.
meeting from everybody.
the-
And the 3-year, at one point, the election's going to fall on the presidential. If you have the 3-year term, one of those elections might, you're going to have some of the savings as well with the year that it falls on a presidential election.
It would be a long time between
Yeah.
3 years, between, it takes, what is it, takes 12 years for
But
3 and
remember,
4 to line
but
up?
remember, you're just staggered. You got
Yeah.
3 and then 3 and then
We do have the survey
3
in.
and 2, 3 and
if you
2.
want to stare at it, but, and you don't have to decide tonight. I mean, like I said, we got till July that we'd like to know. So-
Well, we're in May, so we only got 2 meetings.
Right.
Right.
I mean, as I said at the last meeting, Taylor wasn't here. I do not want anybody to think that we are doing a power grab. I was for 3 years until I spoke with the supervisor of elections, who really strongly urged us. She said, if my opinion is, I would like to see you go to 4 years.
I mean, I understand from her perspective why she would want that too.
Mhm.
Well, no, it's from a cost point, it's strictly from a cost point
Of
of view.
course, of course, of course. I
cousin.
just.
She must be my cousin. or something.
For clarification for everybody from home, what are our current term lengths?
Current
2
what?
years.
2 years.
So we are doubling
Right.
our term lengths. I just don't know if
No,
the two
I-
people sitting here
No,
are aware of that. I would always like the opportunity for the residents to not feel like we're just doing something without their.
could we agenda it for the next meeting?
Well, no, we-
understanding. And trust me, I know that that's what everyone
Right.
would prefer, is that we vote this
This-
through and
No,
make
no, no,
this
no.
happen.
This
I just
requires
don't,
a referendum.
I don't feel comfortable with going.
Taylor, this requires a referendum by the
Then people
voters.
should come and have the.
No, no,
conversation
I mean,
with us here.
on the ballot. It has to
Then-
go on a
Then
ballot.
we should hear their thoughts on that.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
just-
we
But-
should-
Yes, my little 2 cents is, yes, it's on the referendum, the residents will vote, but you want it to pass. So you don't want to go for something that won't pass.
Right.
And they might love that idea.
Right. So I don't, just telling you, you don't want to get a no vote.
No,
No,
Uh,
of course
I-
not.
I like it. The financial aspect is nice, but I also like it for the fact that it gives you more time to get settled into your, knowing that, 2 years to me seems like you're just barely getting your feet wet on knowing the council, especially all of us were newbies to this thing and we just finished really our first term.
How many are you looking at?
Yeah, that's what I'm staring at. There's not many,
How many are 4 years?
there's not
7.
many 2s at all.
Yeah.
I can't-
There's not,
There's-
there's not many 2s. There's
Palm Beach?
most,
Mostly threes.
West Palm Beach is 2.
Mostly it's
West Palm Beach is 2.
It's,
Yeah.
19.
Yeah, Atlantis is 2, Cloud Lake is 2, West Palm is 2, and Palm Beach is 2 still, and Royal Palm, and DeQuesta. Those are the only 2s left, and then everybody's 3s: Belglade, Boca, Boynton, Delray, Gulfstream, Haverhill, Highland, High Paluxo, Juno Beach, Jupiter, Lake Park, Lake Worth Beach, Lantana, Loxahatchee Groves, Mangonia Park, Ocean Ridge, Pahokee, Palm Beach Gardens, Riviera Beach, South Bay. As you can see, those are all 3s. So
There's a lot
so
of threes.
there's a lot of 3s. 4s are only golf, and not only, because there's more than 2s. Golf, Green Acres, Palm Springs, our neighbor, South Palm Beach, and Wellington,
Wellington and Westlake.
and Westlake. So,
Westlake's at 4 years too?
Yep.
yeah.
Oh,
So it's a tough one. You guys got to really, like I said, you got till July. Keep talking about it. Talk to your
let's
constituents.
bring it, let's bring it.
Let's
up at the
invite
next meeting.
comments.
Give me some time
Yeah.
to, get out there and.
Yeah. But you just don't want to lose. You want to have a ballot that passes. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
You know, there's an old saying.
Not a good look.
Mhm.
for
Listen,
the-
No,
If you don't talk to me, I don't know what you're thinking.
right.
So.
I appreciate that very much.
And I like to bring up one other thing. I don't know how, I know it's been a standing practice for the appointments to be a 1 year by 1 year. If we can have Joe look at other towns and what the appointments timeframe is, whether it's for the mayor, for our positions, 1 year seems to be, we going to do it up to 2 years, but if 1 year seems to me too little of a time for you to get
That-
your bearings.
Charter too?
No.
It's in the chart.
All right.
That every year you appoint your officers, yes.
Okay.
So,
No, but that the mayor can only serve 2 consecutive
That's in the-
terms in
yeah.
that seat.
Yeah.
That is in the
that's
charter.
in the
Yeah,
chart.
that's in there too.
Yeah. We can look at a survey of that, if you'd like.
If it's the will of the council, I just like to see what other municipalities are doing and if, then bring it back. And then if the council,
Well,
As
in
one-
this form of government, Joe, that's how it's gonna be. It's still gonna come
They
up
rotate.
for a regular
appointment.
realignment.
If you
Yeah.
ask can I just tell you what I think I
Yes,
know?
you can.
Like, this is
You
what I.
don't talk to us,
th-
we don't know what
th-
you're
th-
thinking.
This is what I think I know. I think it's very common that every year it's reorganized, every year. So
Yeah.
that's,
Mhm.
and it's very common that they pick the mayor, the vice mayor.
Because
It-
if you want to adjust it and change it, we can just do that.
Right.
Mm.
It's done on a yearly basis, very common. The thing that's not common in our charter is that the 2-year term on being a mayor is not common. But that has pluses and minuses. So I'll let you guys, if you ever want my opinion, you can call me on that one because it's very
Well,
political.
that's
too.
where the council enters in.
Uh,
That's where council enters in
right.
on fixing those type of things.
So when you say not common, how would you find out what is common?
On the second
Mayor.
part,
Yes,
Um,
or two.
on the part 2, just look if there's a provision in any, ask Mary would ask all the clerks to see if there's any provision on a limit on weak mayors, form of government.
And what the limit is.
And what the limit is, yeah. I don't,
At
think
Councilor
it's a-
Keating's request, I'm happy to also suggest that surveying.
yeah, I don't mind surveying.
Yeah,
Yeah, let
okay.
me just get some information, bring it back. Information doesn't hurt.
Thank you.
Sure.
The other issue is runoffs, and I do have comments from the supervisor of election as well.
Okay.
She is opposed to them.
I love Wendy.
And so is Joe.
Oh, my God.
She said that North Palm Beach had a runoff. The same person who won that didn't get enough.
Right.
That's the same person who won the first time, but didn't get enough percentage, won the
The
second
second.
time. And the town of North Palm Beach had to spend $196,000.
Thank you.
And she said the cost that her office billed to North Palm Beach was only $144 out of that 196 for overtime. She said some people have a recount. A recount is required if 2 contestants are within a half a percentage point.
Correct.
She says Broward doesn't do any runoffs. She said Wellington had, which I think you referenced, they have to have 35%
Correct.
minimum to win. They got 37%. The winner got 37% in the last election. The election prior to that, the winner got 34%, and they had to do another runoff, and the same winner won again.
Again.
So that's just feedback. I'm not advocating one way or the other, just putting it out there.
That's what happens when the water gets muddied
Mm-hmm.
through politics and. you know.
I like having some kind of threshold. I like the 35%
Wait, I'm
and
sorry,
not have,
sorry, wait, I'm Greg.
Sorry,
let
I'm sorry.
Greg finish. What
I'm sorry.
you say?
No, it's just how with the runoffs, the water gets muddied through the political process that you run into that. Because that can be done very easily to create that runoff. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So if you have 2 candidates and you got somebody who wants to come in and be a spoiler, usually 3 people, especially like a community like this, typically is gonna run into a runoff.
Yeah, it's a political tactic.
So
It is.
either A, B, I mean, I could live without them. I've had to do it once. It was dreadful. A lot of work.
How many votes did you, what percent did you get the
I
first
got
time
like,
around?
the first go round, it was under 50.
There were
But
three,
there were three,
three candidates, yeah.
yeah. It was
But you
under-
were the leader.
Yes,
Oh, yeah. So the same guy won again.
yes. And I told you that story. He, wasn't fond of it, but that's typically how it works. So
I'm
that's food for thought.
way more open to this conversation with the elimination of runoffs with stipulations.
thresholds.
Yes, and potentially recount, stipulations. So
What stipulations would you like?
so different municipalities handle, once they eliminate runoff elections, they handle it differently. So like what you described as the 35% or whatever. So, or like a mandatory recount if there isn't a certain percent.
Isn't there like, it
That's
was,
that's in state statutes.
Okay, so
Percent thing.
I agree,
Is
I
it- what is
concur.
it,
It's no, 0.5%.
Half a percent.
If it's within 0.5%,
It's
they
automatic.
they get an automatic recount, whatever that means, by hand or whatever.
Right.
And I agree with Taylor about, I would like to see seems to be the common is a 35% threshold and eliminate the runoffs.
I mean, I can get involved in this because I think it's not
Yeah.
political, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
I love the no runoffs at all.
Mhm.
I'm with Wendy, but I can live with the 35% because it's, you have way less runoffs because, we're not Wellington where even France said, she couldn't remember anyone not getting 35%.
yeah, I mean, especially in
Yeah.
Lake Park Shores,
Right.
like, I feel like.
Five
it would
people are
be-
not going to run for one seat
Right.
and maybe not.
Never say never.
Never
say never.
Likely, but in Wellington, it's more likely.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
So-
concur.
So
I'm open to that as
so I'm okay with it, but I love Wendy's option first.
Okay.
She's a smart lady.
He's a good person too.
Yeah.
So, we good? You guys are gonna still talk about 3 or 4?
Right.
And do you want to decide on the 35% or not, or you want to keep talking about that?
I'm okay with eliminating
The runoff?
runoffs and making a threshold of 35%. We need a motion or will we?
No, you just need to give me a consensus and then we can do an ordinance.
It would just fit in the order.
Well,
But
no, you
was it-
can't
no.
do an ordinance. That requires
No, you first have to do an ordinance to put it,
put it on a
On the ballot.
referendum.
right.
Okay,
right.
got it. Sorry.
It's just a process.
Right.
Part 1 of 2.
Yeah. So.
What does the council think? That
I
they,
can live with that.
I can. I think we should
I wouldn't feel.
figure out
comfortable
3
just-
versus 4 and do it all at one time.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, it'll be all in one ordinance and it'll have a ballot
then I'll
question
referendum.
and
Yeah.
But
yes or no and that kind of stuff. So it just schedules the referendum election.
I wouldn't want to eliminate it entirely. Well, I'm good with the 35%.
Okay.
I'm good with us moving to that.
because the recount is automatic by the state statute
Yes.
and then
Yeah,
you
that's-
fall back to the 35%.
That good?
I find something very unsettling if there's a tie, which is highly unlikely.
Who's got a coin?
Yeah, they do a coin toss in a lot of towns. I find that.
A tie is a tie.
Who's got a coin? I'm not,
How do you make
I'm
that?
not throwing that coin. I'm telling you that right now.
Probably about eliminating ties all over the place.
Yeah.
Not just in
It's,
politics.
again, it's super, super, super remote that there's a
Yeah.
tie, but I think Charlie said he knew of one.
But
You think,
I guess we do need to have a
yeah, well,
provision
yeah,
for that.
we'll,
Yeah.
we'll have to put
Yeah.
some wording in it, but again, very, very remote. It's like,
You gave it to
Mhm.
us last month, but
Right.
other than coin toss, what were the others doing? The other towns?
there was,
Would be-
It's like a,
there was something in here. You're right. I
it's
can't
like
remember.
you're picking a name or picking a,
I don't remember. We'll give you options on that.
It's alphabetical order. Who's first in the alphabet?
What is those sticks? The short stick or the long stick?
Oh, yeah, some people drew sticks, right?
Draw sticks,
Yeah,
maybe.
some drew sticks.
Yeah.
it's something like that.
Man, that's very archaic.
Rock, paper, scissors, whatever. 2 out of 3.
Okay.
That is what you said. Again, super, super remote, but the Charlie will come up with something and Bill will come up with something.
Let the legal mumbo jumbo come up with.
Yeah, but I didn't hear 3 of you say 35%. Is,
I can,
did.
I like 35. I
Okay.
think it's good.
I'm
then
excited
we'll
too.
work on that ordinance and you guys still continue on the
The term.
discussing on the
What do you want to?
the length, not the
length.
term. Thanks for correcting
Yeah.
me. So that's it? We
Uh, We think we're good on that one. We'll now move to, I noticed that, well, we'll next talk about the Forum Club. The mayor has
Okay.
asked for reimbursement, because I do use it for excellent networking. Just yesterday, we heard directly from the Speaker of the Florida House, where his head is. I met with literally 5 of the 7 county commissioners yesterday. Was standing in a little group of 5 women and all of a sudden somebody with a camera walked by and said, 5 female mayors. And so there's excellent networking. Paul Shalhoub came up, with the 3 of us were there, and Paul came up and he said, we've got 5 Lake Clark Shore mayors here, former or current mayors.
Yeah.
So I respectfully request, to be reimbursed for my dues and my attendance at those meetings.
So Joe, if we do this, if we set precedents like this with we talked about the dues. The town pays for the dues under her name.
Yeah, we cannot have a membership under the town's name. It has to be on the individual name.
Right. That was one of the things. And then each member that wants to go would then go and pay their own way.
It's up to whatever you guys decide.
Well, no, if we set this precedent, then anytime we get a membership for anything like this, where we're
Well,
networking,
no, this one here couldn't be done through the town though.
that's my point,
Right,
is they would have to do this for each one of us.
right.
And not only Forum Club, which I've been to many times and very much appreciate that there's a lot of networking for you in this role, but also for me in my personal life.
Mhm.
Okay, it's really hard to separate what you're doing networking for the town. And I'm not saying that you're not being, very honest about how you're spending your time there, but I could also be networking then for my business while I'm there or my other roles. I also don't see what the difference would be with me being reimbursed for the 4 chambers I'm a member of or the numerous nonprofit organization events that I attend and network at. I just think it's not a personal thing with you, Christy, and Forum Club specifically, but where does this precedent end for each of us? I mean, there's a million opportunities like this. And is Forum Club a 501c3 or there?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I think that it's endless networking reimbursement opportunities then. And it's not just us sitting up here. This is for the future of who's sitting in this role.
Well, I'm not asking for reimbursement for the Girl Scouts that I went to last week, but where I was networking and
Where do
meeting
you
with.
draw the line?
Yeah,
Why would I not ask for my networking again, I think it's 4 or 5 chambers that I'm a member of.
Are you members to that, to network for the town or to network for the historical?
Why wouldn't I,
Society?
or my personal consulting company or my public relations firm? How do you determine what you're doing there?
Because I'm not networking to flip houses while I'm there. I'm networking for
But
the town.
nobody, that's asking, I mean, I just don't know if I feel comfortable with that, with the town's money for me, myself, but also anyone that might sit in this seat in the future.
Let me say that not only was I meeting with 5 mayors and 5 commissioners, but I am there representing the town, and
So I've been there representing the town
and
too.
it's just like, for example, I just saved the town $20,000 by being at these meetings for the elections if we decide to go with Wendy's recommendation. I see it as no different than the former mayor going to a fast fly-in or a membership meeting in Washington DC, where she's representing the town and meeting with
Okay, I do. And I think that you could have those meetings with Wendy on official time without spending town money too. I know that I can schedule time to meet with Wendy Sartori. So this is just my opinion, and it's not personal towards you or this event and Forum Club in particular. I just think it sets a really dangerous precedent. And I don't.
Well, that's why we're bringing each one
Right.
up individually for the Bridges fly-in or my thing.
Yeah,
And by the way,
I
I took a senator to the Donald Trump dinner, and I spoke with Joe before. I said, Joe, who should I invite that could be most helpful to the town? I
And
mean, I
that
really
feels
did it
very
as a town.
partisan to me as well. So I just want to
But
be
it was-
really careful about what we're doing with town dollars. I really side and
Well, we do have.
hold on,
18
let me finish.
Sorry.
I really side on the air of caution
Mhm.
whenever we're using town dollars. And they can, I know a lot of these tickets for opportunities like this get gifted to people. I just would prefer to err on the side of caution and say there's opportunities for you to network on behalf of the town. Trust me, I've been to Forum Club many times. It's not like you're sitting down at the table and having these deep, thoughtful conversations with these people. There's a lot of in passing moments, and it's great. They announce your name. I have absolutely represented the town there and paid for my own membership. So the only way they announce you is if you pay for your own membership. And I understand that too.
And that's actually a good
But
point.
then they're
because
having to
we
do
get
that for each
exposure.
one of us.
We get exposure there.
They'd have to do that for each one of us and for any of the other networking chamber events that we're going to say that we're going to network on behalf of the town at. So I just think it sets a dangerous precedent, and
Well, we
It's
set the
not
precedent
something-
2 months ago when we gave Bridget money to go to Washington.
I personally
all
see
eligible
that,
for that.
I personally see that as a
We're all
total opportunity. That is 100% you're in that room as a representative. If you want to do that, I would support that as well. That's a very different situation. It's not a gray area where I can now say any of these events that I'm going to buy tickets to or be a member of that organization, I'm networking. It's just a gray area to me.
Joe,
Again, it's not personal.
as I recall, the town council has a budget of $18,000 per year,
Mhm.
which we use just a few pennies of, right?
Well, the Tallahassee trips, obviously, your salaries, yeah, we're usually under budget, yes.
Joe, tell us about, remember how I came to you a few years back and we're talking about the Palm Beach County Homeless Coalition Ball? We talked about the cost with that and how we handle that and what we did
I
there.
can't say what I tell you privately.
No, we had that, we had that discussion out here one time too.
Right.
And everyone's aware of all the contention happening.
The-
around it,
I
right?
understand.
There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good organizations out there. It's just, you have to determine as a board what's public purpose and what's not. You guys can do that. Staff has to stay out of this. So it's, you guys have to determine what you think public purpose is.
Just one council member up here too.
No, listen, we all talk in the sunshine. Nothing's
Mm-hmm.
personal. Everything's business. Nothing's personal. But Joe, we are all eligible for the fast fly-in,
100%.
correct?
You.
That is Florida League
The
of Cities.
consensus of you all make
No,
up
the
public
council
purpose.
is eligible to go and do that.
Yes.
And I think they recommend that it's only one, whether it's the mayor or you, because they don't want us, because of the sunshine law. If you look at their requirements.
Yeah,
Let-
no, it's.
So if it's the mayor or the mayor can't do it, it's the vice mayor, or if it's a council member, it's one person. We're all eligible. It's not just automatically the mayor. So if it's the mayor designated, then the mayor will go. But it says I don't know, they say recommended or suggested that you don't have two members of the council, of the same council going.
Yeah, but we all go to the League of City meetings.
I'm just telling you what they say.
Yeah, yeah.
What the League of Cities, they.
Yeah, no.
They allow-
I've been
they allow
doing
you.
that a long time. I understand.
I
I'm
know
just
you
saying
do.
that
And the fast,
law is an ethical thing.
Yeah.
That comes down to your own ethics. You have to live with yourself if you're gonna cross that line. And then who wants to get a $10,000 fine for a $100 job?
right.
Not me.
I would point out, by the way, that most of, in fact, all of towns our size have significantly higher compensation. And many of them have like a $500 a month stipend to cover these sorts of things.
Right.
So if absent a stipend, that's why I'm asking for.
I mean, we're fighting for people to get a 1 to 3%, boost. I just think with the 6 months of conversation that we just had about getting our officers and staff like in the market, for us to even entertain the idea of a salary increase.
I'm not suggesting a salary.
Or to suggest that these personal things that we didn't have approval on before, we're gonna now have this precedent. Because yes, if the Forum Club thing gets approved, then I'm absolutely submitting anything where I'm going to be speaking about anything like Clark Shores or representing myself as an elected official in that space. And that is a very dangerous precedent to set for all of us.
Well, I
for
go to 2 charity events a week and I'm not
So-
exaggerating, but I'm not submitting for that.
Neither am I, but you could, and we could continue to have these
No, I wouldn't
endless
feel right about
conversations.
that.
But this is a precedent we're setting that doesn't just apply to you. It's going to apply to everyone and
Okay.
any future person that's sitting up here.
I actually agree with you, Taylor. And just to clarify, my travel was through the NLC, which is the National League of Cities, and that was the one major event. The Florida League of Cities, which we're all members of long before I asked to go to DC, is the follow-up to what I did. So that League of Cities, anybody can do the flash fly-in, and you don't have to go to the first one to go to the second one. But it was, to me, very comprehensive, that one. I can tell you, I didn't. From the time I hit the ground to the time I left, I was doing something. I was having meetings all the way up to the time I was leaving for the airport. So I don't take this lightly. When I went there, I was meeting with the representatives from NLC because they were steering me in the right direction. I met with agencies. So I don't need to go into my itinerary, but I did a lot while I was up there.
We're glad to send you.
Right. So, and that was through NLC, the National League, and I appreciate you the town.
I would also just like to say for the record that I appreciate everything that every single one of us does up here on behalf of this town. And all elected officials step into that role and are doing things out of pocket. I mean, whether it's the right thing or not, it's just what happens when you're in the space that we are in. We are gifting our time in many cases
100%.
and beyond that. I mean, the amount of things that my mother attended and paid for and did in 6 years because she was a public representative of her district. It's endless.
Yeah, but she was paid $40,000, to
I did the same thing.
That you see the budget in West Palm Beach, it's like apples to like watermelons. I mean, you can't even, it's pretty comparable actually, if you look at our budget to theirs, what we're making.
Well, again, we did the analysis a couple of months ago.
Mhm.
Most towns our size have a stipend of like $500 a month.
It's just not something that I feel comfortable with. It doesn't mean that,
Right.
I'm certainly not.
And I concur with you, on Taylor, on the note that most public officials are giving of their time and they do it willingly. And it's the same thing I did in public service as my fire role in the union. So I do it because I enjoy giving back my time. So to follow up on what we're talking about, I went to the forum breakfast. I did see the networking. I just don't see the value for the town. And then secondary, that we're now asking for a reimbursement. If this is something that we want to do in the future, then let's take that role. But this is for reimbursement, and it wasn't set, didn't discuss it saying, we want you to go to represent Lake Clark Shores, just like Taylor does it of her own accord. She's members of different organizations. I think it as a resource, but I don't think it has the value of the League of Cities, National League of Cities, and other organizations. So if you giving of your time, I think that's a great give back to the town of your own doing. But I just from my personal standpoint, I have an ethical of going back and ask for it after the fact. So it's not an ethical violation. It's just, to me, I don't know if I could ask you afterwards. I wouldn't have gone to DC and come back and said, hey, could you pay for my trip? I wouldn't have done that.
Well, I mean, some of the monies that I'm asking for were spent since I asked for it in the last month. I took a senator for, $450. And I took, the three of us went yesterday. But the thing about networking is you have to make friends in this business, and you don't always know, it doesn't always pay off the next month but it's gonna, if you want to get something done.
No,
If you want to get something done, you have to have friends and other mayors, you have to have friends in the county commission. And that's, each of us brings something different to the table, and my ability to network is one of my superpowers.
Joe,
Yes.
can't you get a hold of Dan? I cannot remember for the life of me how we did that. I just know that
Yeah, I put it in the memo. It wasn't the Forum Club. It was the
economic.
it was the economic.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. That is a big difference. I knew it was one of them.
Yeah.
A lot of water's gone under the bridge. So, but that's how we did that.
Yes.
That was done through the town.
Correct.
Okay. So have we looked into joining that? Because remember I asked you yesterday, is
That
this run
exist?
still by Rebel Cook?
Mhm.
Because I felt like there was something different. But it had been
Different,
4
yeah.
or 5 years. Well, the Economic Forum is different than the Forum Club of the Palm Beaches.
I don't even know anything about the economic forum.
It actually
Well,
is
it's
probably even more
thing.
valuable to us
Yeah, the Economic Forum Club is more elected officials.
than Forum
Then-
Club. Forum Club I
Forum
I
Club-
attend it. It's
Forum Club is a business, and the electeds are either they go and they pay, or they're invited, like you've done with us, and that kind of thing, so, I mean, like I said, this is a precedent-setting thing. And that goes a long way, even in the future or whatever. Do we, have an idea of what the Economic Forum Club cost would be?
It's not in the memo. It just says the town previously held membership in the Economic Forum from 2016 to 2019.
Can we look into what the costs
Well,
and
one of the side things that we have from sitting up here is everything we do, our business endeavors are associated,
Mhm.
and that's how they know you too. So you do get a benefit out of that. All of us, and that's where you know, that's why Dan always told us, we never got per diem, we never got anything.
Right.
He goes, you guys don't need it, you'll pay your own way, and that's what we did. So, not that I don't agree with networking, because you already know how I feel about that. It's the most vital thing we do here, whether we're here, there, or wherever we are. I didn't see what the problem with the Coalition for the Homeless was either, but I don't really feel like we ever got any benefit out of it. So that's.
You should
other
read
side.
the newspaper
That's the other
today
side.
about what's happening with that right now.
Oh, I know all about it, but it's like anything. I read the paper about a lot of things that happened that we did.
It just
we didn't know.
specifically happens to be about.
Well, no, Joe and I had this conversation years ago. So it's, you know, once you start attending all those ethic trainings that you think they're telling you the same things, they're kind of talking between the lines a lot of times to us too. So I don't know where we land on this one. This is a tough one.
And I think we all appreciate networking because I think all of us here have had our experiences in networking in different respects. So I
Sure.
appreciate your networking and what this brings to the table. But again, as my council members have reiterated, this is precedent setting. And I think this is, that's me personally, don't feel the value in it. I think the Economic Forum might be a platform that we might consider. But I would ask Joe and the staff to look into what that entails and if that's a value for us or not. I don't know what the rest of the council feels.
What, 3 years ago, I guess, brought up the Chamber of Commerce of the Palm Beaches, not the Palm Beach Chamber, but
I like that. Yep.
chamber that represents the whole county and has every business entity represented and a ton of opportunities. Like the Forum Club is one event. That is what you're paying to go to, one event. The chambers, you actually get the opportunity to speak to a room, to have meetings with the individuals. There's a tremendous amount of benefits that come with membership.
I like that idea too. If we could look into both of those platforms to see if they're of value and if something we want to do or not. Joe?
I was just gonna say, good night, Ann.
Good night, Ann.
Good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would respectfully disagree with Bridget. It's only because of through the Forum Club that I know five different county commissioners. And someday that's going to pay off big time for Lake Clark Shores.
I mean, I know all 5 county commissioners and I've engaged with them.
But when you see them every month.
I see them. I go to all of these things. I just pay for them on my own.
Well, I do too. Like I said, last week I was at the Girl Scouts. This week I'm at clinics.
Yeah, I do.
Clinics can help. I mean, I'm not asking for reimbursement for those.
I'm not similar to you in that regard, Christy.
Yeah.
I go to
but I'm not asking for those because those aren't political.
But you could, and I could.
No,
if
I don't think
attending them
they're not
in a
political.
networking capacity.
They're not political. This is political.
The Forum
we
Club
had-
is not
We had
necessarily
the governor, we had the
political.
president, we had the speaker of the house.
But we also have non-political speakers at
Yeah.
Forum Club all the time. I mean, you have
mean,
the
I
CEO of Brightline. Is he
I took a sitting
political?
senator to the.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities to go and network with these people in their offices too. And I think that's way more
No,
appropriate than
you don't
doing
make
it
an
at a
appointment and say, I want to come here. You
lunch.
catch people at parties or at events. That's how you network.
That's really dangerous, actually. I think it can be. I think it can be. I think there are definitely ethical situations that can come up with that. But again, I'm the one that really, I think, get anxious and err on the side of caution because I've seen so many situations come up. But
So-
I'm also happy to let you guys, I mean, I think everyone knows where I stand on it.
Yeah. Oh. Is anybody opposed to having Joe look into the other 2 platforms just for reference to see if that's something we're have any value in or any cost?
Well, yeah, you can look at it, but there's a question on the table.
Well, there should have been
We'll have to call the question.
no, there hasn't been a motion. There hasn't been a motion.
Well, that's what calling question means. Somebody make a motion.
About any of those organizations, though, I can tell you that I will not support a reimbursement of anyone's memberships from the past year.
Well, no, when the
It
town.
would have,
when
it
the
would have
town
to be
can do
everyone
it, it's
agreeing
just like the
to.
League when the town can do it, it's just like the League of Cities.
It would
No
have to be
different.
everyone agreeing to, this is the organization
Right.
that everyone finds value in. Everyone's gonna get to be a member of in some capacity. And I do think actually the chamber does town memberships
I think they do.
where it represents the council.
And see, I go to chamber meetings. I think they're total waste of time.
Well, there you go. We have a
Yes,
difference of opinion as
Right.
to what you can do.
Listen,
in
that's
networking.
why I would.
I do a
If you
tremendous
think they're
amount of
valuable, I
networking.
would approve your expenditures at the, I think,
Mhm.
at the chamber.
It's not personal, Christy. I don't think the reimbursement is appropriate.
So, Bill, we need a motion to, yay or nay?
Yeah, to decide to reimburse or not.
Thought I got
When-
a year out of
when-
this job, Bill.
It's an extra chair over here. Chair going down,
They moved,
I guess if you
I'm
don't
sorry.
take action, that's nothing.
it dies out
You
of.
have to have a motion.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
Are
there's,
you opposed?
the optics are not good.
What?
The
Optic,
optics
okay.
are not good.
Okay, well, okay, then I'm gonna pivot here for a
That's
second.
okay.
I'm gonna pivot because to Bridget's point, she was saying that she would approve a fast fly-in. I'm not exactly
didn't-
sure.
I didn't say that, but
I thought you said any of us could do a fast fly-in.
Greg brought it up and I.
Again,
Greg
they
brought it
make
up.
a recommendation, but that's one of the things where every council member has the access to it. That's the caveat. This would be something that's in your name, and then we go in there and then we pay.
It's one of
And
the
then
main
it's-
points I brought up when Bridget was asking, is how does it cycle?
Yeah, so it's just like, we don't pay to go to the League of Cities. We don't pay to go to the districts. We don't pay to go to the.
We do pay for the
judge
district,
show.
or he pays.
Well, yes,
The town pays.
and that's what I'm saying. Each council member
Right.
has that opportunity versus, that's why I think
Well, I'm happy to take anybody at the Forum Club, but anyway, what I was,
no, let me ask you this question. Would you still be a member regardless?
I would.
Yes, you would. Of course, because it's got great networking for a variety of reasons.
It doesn't help me do any flips. I promise you that.
I don't know if that's.
I don't get one
necessarily
shred of
true.
business out of
I
that.
just told you, oh God, I saw that truck. It's beautiful. Who else did
Networking is
saw that truck?
networking.
Knows you're associated with Women Build.
That doesn't help me get anything.
How
Nobody calls me up and says, please buy my wreck and
do you
fix it
think
up.
they know I'm a bug man?
Anyway,
That sometimes wears a tie.
yeah, and looks very good doing it.
That was so
okay.
kind of you. Thank you.
Anyway, I would like to put another item out there, which I wasn't gonna do, but in light of the, my daughter's gonna graduating from college in Virginia in a couple of weeks. And I was contemplating taking a detour in the wrong direction up to DC to meet Lois Frankel's office up there. Would you all?
She's in town right now.
No, but I want to meet her office up there because I've had 3 conversations with her about, and Joe as well, about she's trying to get $1 million for us. I want to meet her staff up there just to stay in front of them, to thank them and to remind them that we're looking for $1 million. So I guess what I'm asking for is, a hotel, and
Is she gonna be there when you're gonna be there?
she will not be there, but that's not the point. The point is to meet the staff, because the staff is the ones who will be pushing this stuff through after she's already said that she would like to do it.
I see Lois on a regular basis at Noreen McKean. Her mother.
I mean, I just.
Oh,
Well, my mother's in there, her mother's in there, and
Yeah.
I make it my point to say hello and.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember like Clark Shores over that little place you used to live in?
Yeah,
We're still looking for that, like, check, that you've been promised us for 20 years.
yeah, I know.
When is that? When are you going there?
It's in a couple of weeks. Believe me, it's out of my way. I could drive home from Virginia to Palm Beach in a day. If I go to DC, I can't drive home in a day, but I thought it would be valuable to meet her staff up there. And this,
Did you go to that office when you were up there?
Yep,
Did you?
yep.
How did they receive you?
They were very receptive. The League of Cities kind of dropped the ball and, because it was a later, appointment and day, but she actually saw us one-on-one, with one other person, and they were actually had more quality time with her because it was just 2 of us in there. So they were very receptive. And she didn't have to do it because she was actually getting called to Chambers, and she was late to Chambers to stay to talk to me.
that's
And that was about the 1 million they were talking.
No, she's very reasonable.
That was the first thing out of her mouth was, I didn't even say anything, says, I can look, you're number 1 on you're in my top priority on the $1 million, it's a community, it's not really septic to sewer. You can use it for septic to sewer, but it's a community-based,
Right.
$1 million.
Right.
So, I think we're looking good on that, but I mean, that's,
Time will tell.
yeah, yeah, well, nobody knows what, budget, the way they're passing along the budget in both DC and in Florida. So,
So would it be
So, I mean,
reasonable
what-
to put,
But you
pay for
have
my
to-
hotel?
You have to premise all of that with numbers.
yes,
We can't just, you gotta have some numbers if that needs to get looked at.
Well, it would be, it's about $200 a night for a hotel.
No, it has to be exact, just like we did with her.
Well, then it's gonna be after the fact.
I understand.
Will
But
you
that
all
would-
consider
that
it
would-
after the
that
fact?
I would,
That would then. be
I
a
would
reimbursement
feel
Request.
more comfortable with us saying it's town dollars to fly you up there. I mean, obviously you're,
I'm not paying for an airplane.
okay.
I'm driving from Virginia to DC.
Okay,
in
so
3 hours
you're asking for,
for a couple of nights, 2 nights of hotel and
I just don't know why we would do that if she's not there. Like you can meet her staff and her. That's far more beneficial. I mean, have you engaged with her?
Oh, like I said, I've spoken with her 3 times about this, but I want to meet,
she-
I want to meet the Washington staff.
I know,
know
but
the- I know
a
the
lot
local
of them might not even be like, it's
I've
going
already
to
spoken
be
with them.
very.
They would be happy to meet me and they have offered to give me a tour of the Capitol and yada, yada, yada.
Maybe we should have that conversation with Richard too and see if we think that where things are with them and what the work he just did up there, if that would change anything. Cause don't we also want you to meet with him to have like the talking points and understanding as to what we're requesting and what he's been working on?
I think Richard primarily works in Tallahassee and not in DC, but I'd be happy to meet with him beforehand. And of course, I think Joe could address it just as well.
I
So
think-
Joe, after
I
that,
think he
with
has
no
the verbiage
numbers
for
at
what's
hand or
happening here
anything like
locally.
that, that would then become another reimbursement request, correct?
It'd be about $500.
Again, you should determine if it's a public purpose or not. Like
Right.
3 of you should decide on that and then you could
Well,
put
I
you could put a
can see
limit on
where
it.
a meeting like that is definitely public purpose. But it was still without actual numbers. You can't just say, okay.
Well, you could approve up to a certain amount.
Let's just be clear. I want to have a better understanding. If Bridget was just there, what you're going there to do? Is it just to meet them and say, hi, I'm the mayor of the town of Lake Clark Shores?
And to remind them,
Because she just did that, right?
right, but the more we can get in front of them and keep reminding them that we're here.
Bridget, when were you there?
we're March. Month, what was it? Yes, just under 2 months. It was right around St. Patrick's Day. That's all I remember. So 15th to the 17th, I think. Of March.
Well, I don't know what the language would be. You ladies come up with some language and then we'll see where it goes. from there.
I'm of the mindset of you. I think it does serve a public purpose, but without the numbers, it's a reimbursement and then we're back to this
Well,
conundrum.
it'd be, cap it at $600.
It's not even that. You're ballparking. When, they did mine, they went went from A to Z.
Well, okay, I already checked the hotel. It's $200 a night. And then just, a couple of meals, stipends.
That's $9.
What are the per diem is? Yeah, I know,
Ever
I
had
know.
dinner in Washington DC?
Christy, I just feel very uncomfortable with all of that. Like, this is now the 3rd time that the conversation we're having in the last hour has been about some sort of money or payment, whether it be increasing the salary.
I
or
never
a
talked about
stipend.
increasing the salary.
It did come up in this meeting.
No, I did not
actually.
propose it.
But it was mentioned in this meeting.
No, I did not
that
propose it. I want to be very clear about
It was
that.
not proposed in this meeting, but you mentioned it in this meeting.
I just mentioned that others
alongside
get, no, I didn't
this
mention the
other
salary, I mentioned the
reimbursement.
stipend.
No, you mentioned the fact that we make X amount of dollars versus 40,000 in West Palm Beach. There's many, I think that the focus of what we're doing here is missing a little bit, and I feel very uncomfortable with it. And I think it's in a lot of times now that it's been brought up in the last hour. And I think that we have had, when it took us like 4 meetings to approve what we did with Bridget. It wasn't just like, okay, you guys didn't give me this money. Will you pay for me to do this? I'd love to know if you're going there on behalf of the town dollars, because I don't just decide what we do with the town's money. If you're going there on behalf of the town's dollars, what are the, like, what are you doing to be effective there when Bridget, we just paid money to have a representative there 2 months ago? So,
I
and
mean-
what are you doing there that you can't do with her in person here?
Because it's
without
important
spending
it-
any money.
It's important to meet with staff, because staff is the ones who are pushing things through, right? Would you agree with that, Joe, or not?
I think they're diminishing Congresswoman Frankel's role slightly there.
Well, it's always best, and you know this, to get in front of decision makers, not gatekeepers.
I mean,
That's
you
what-
also
that's
just
what
got done
staff
saying that you
have.
really build the relationships and get the things you want when you're like with them in person at something, not in their offices. So I'm just a little perplexed, but
Well, I actually saw the Congresswoman at the Norton Gala, but I'm not asking for the $1,250 to be, $1,250 to be in
right,
for
but you
that
made the
ticket.
point earlier that you could, and that would be more.
No, I did
effective
not.
than Meeting.
No,
in an
no, no, no,
office.
you're misunderstanding me. The Norton Gala would not be a networking event. I'm just saying I took the opportunity to see her there.
Okay.
You're
I
saying
think
I could,
there's great opportunities for you to meet with her here. And I know you want to
I-
meet her staff, but I mean, I lived in DC for 6 years. I understand how these meetings work. My sister is an actual lobbyist in DC. And I greatly feel it diminishes Congresswoman Frankel's role if you're saying like you need to meet with her staff and not her. And I think she would be like unhappy with this conversation in general. That it's
I'm
not her who's the
diminishing
decision
the
maker.
Congresswoman at all. I'm just saying every contact that the town makes is beneficial. If we're looking for $1 million, don't we want to stay in, isn't it worth
But we
spending
just
five or
paid
to stay?
someone to go and represent us on that request alongside the League of Cities.
And we have been promised that for quite a while.
Well, that's why I want to keep in
I,
front of them.
I understand both sides. I just also understand that, you know, have a fiduciary, and my personal, how I handled everything was I always paid. I just paid. I never asked for anything in return. I didn't, not that you're not entitled to it, or that's just how I handled it. I had and was able to face constituents easier knowing, and I actually had more confidence knowing, hey, I paid my way. So the town of Lake Clark Shores never, or the taxpayers can't tell me I can do this, I can't do that, I should do this, I shouldn't do that. I'm going on my dollars. So if that's what I want to do, that's what I do. And
You know
that's-
how many times
That's why I approached it like that, for that very reason, because once you start going down this slope, you're gonna have those people who aren't here tonight casting aspersions at you and stuff, where
I'm not quite sure.
it's got that benefit.
I don't see how me spending $500 in DC is different than Bridget spending 1,500 or 2,000 or whatever it costs to send her
Well,
up
the
there.
first thing is she was just there. We've had conversations with the office and Lois, and I'm just giving you all sides before,
Okay, all right.
before we go down this, because it's just how this goes up here and how they look at you. And I'm just telling you, I'm just, giving you some friendly advice. You're better off paying your own way.
Oh, and you know what? I'll just drive home in one day. It'll be easier.
I think.
Save,
yeah,
save.
Save time, save money.
Okay,
I just think it's
I'm
better
trying to,
like
I'm
that.
trying to help the town.
I understand. I'm trying to help you.
Okay,
I think
all right.
that would be your better bet.
all right.
Yeah. You can
Lobbyists.
still invite me and I'll pay my own way.
You owe me $100, by the way. Discussion on lobbyist services. The contract with Richard Spinsky is going to expire at the end of the month. I think we actually agreed on this a year ago when we renewed his contract. We agreed that at the end of that contract, we would open it up to interviewing others and not kicking Pinsky to the curb, letting him also pitch himself. And I think in the spirit of any contract that the town does, I think it's we should follow up on what we agreed to a year ago and open it up to consider other lobbyists and let them all pitch us at the next meeting.
I can live with that.
Is that a formal process then?
You can make it a formal process, or you can you can make it an informal.
You have to
process.
put out an RFP on that?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, you can make it that kind of process, which it
Would
is
that be the
formal.
best way to go?
this is such a personal thing. You can do it both ways. I see it where you can just invite a few.
When did we have this, the end of this agreement?
This agreement's pretty flexible. It does end at the end of this month, but then it just automatically goes to a month
to month.
for the same amount of money.
Yes.
Yeah, and even with the contract, it had a 30-day clause in it for termination. So it's a very flexible contract. So
So we'd have to approve him for the next month, and then that way we can bring everyone.
It just rolls.
He's automatically.
you don't even,
Automatic.
yeah, unless you terminate him,
Unless you terminate it.
it's going to continue on. So
So you said it can go either way. You can just invite several lobbyists in here and make their pitch, or you can go out to an RFP process.
right.
Either one would work.
If they come in here and make their pitch, they're not gonna give us numbers. You'd have to have a formal process. for
Yeah,
that.
that's why I'm asking. If
So
that's how
like,
you
I
do that,
think,
because in
like,
order for
great,
them
we
to
like
know
you and
can
how you
pitch,
look and how you talk.
you're gonna- That's gonna. be
dollars.
request for a proposal.
That makes sense.
Right,
We're looking for.
the dollars, Joe?
I love dollars. It's my
Dollar-
friend.
Like Richie Rich with the.
Any
dollar
advice
sign.
or?
You
No.
can do an RFP if you're all more comfortable with that.
What's the financial implications of that?
Nothing. We just have to advertise. It just got to go through the whole thing, and we would make you, not staff, the board, the body that decides on who do you select if you select somebody.
And how long?
Or
would-
do we, and the other side of that, outside of just having them come here and like meet us or talk to us, do we request some sort of, like, is there another way to request numbers without?
I don't think there's anything, and this is a question for them, and I'm
Mhm.
sorry I'm putting them on the spot, so they might not know the answer because I don't know the
It's
answer.
for you.
That they're not protected by anything that I know, like an auditor or an engineer or something like that.
No, I know.
So that I don't think they are. So, again, it's a legal question. So, but I think you can ask for numbers. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Right,
it's not the.
Right.
When we invite them, we can say this is what we'd
Especially if
like
they
to know.
wanted to get their foot in the door, you're gonna need.
Right.
to-
I-
They know we're a
I'll-
council that we
I'll-
watch.
Like I said, I'll double check with them because, I'm putting them on the spot, but I
Yeah.
think you can ask for numbers.
Yeah, we can check, but I mean, you can ask them. We need to know what you're gonna charge us.
Right.
So you could have like a hybrid process versus just a presentation with numbers.
Yeah, you can't do that with an auditor or an engineer or something like that. But you can, I believe you can do this with this process.
Yeah, they're not under the CCNA, which is the Competitive Negotiation Act, so.
That's interesting.
Do we have any other,
But it's my
lobbyists in
guess.
line?
That
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, it would be not prudent of us to entertain and explore, considering, where we could be
Mhm.
or where we may end up.
So do we want to put out an official RFP or just reach out to those that we know or check with other check with Lake Worth and others and see who they use and who they like, for example?
I think the way Joe and the attorney presented it was it's kind of a hybrid. I don't think we need to go on RFP. We can have them invite who we want to invite, how we want to find the individuals who want to propose to be a lobbyist to come in and give us a presentation with numbers. We'd like to see what is included in your services and what it's going to cost.
I'm fine with that.
Greg, Mayor?
I'm.
So I'm hearing 3 yeses. So 4 yeses.
Mhm.
Thank you. So you don't have to do it on the record. You can just call Emily or myself and just say, I would
Want to add so?
just contact this firm and see if they're interested in taking you on as a client and present with numbers.
Yeah,
And
they also might just say no, because.
Right,
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 exactly.
they might say no. That's why I say, right, right. That's why.
We have a sign on 95, okay, right?
You're done.
You're reading my mind as usual, but that's why I recommend that way. So just contact Emily or myself and just say, look into this firm, see if they're interested.
Great.
Okay?
Sounds like a plan.
How do I handle Richard? Any advice? Or just say, we're doing this? Does he want to present? Or-
Exactly.
Ask
He
them.
absolutely should.
100%.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
no, he has the right to present.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Chief Martinez, thank you for your patience. Can we get-
We should have had him do his.
I know, we should
before.
have.
Just think we should do this.
Get
twice a
fired
month.
twice tonight?
You're here, bud.
I want a cup.
Thank you for waiting.
Thank you for having us. I didn't want at least to scare you guys with batteries and lithium batteries.
That was
It is scary. So just to let you know.
Tesla.
Don't
So
knew
hence
why
the
you-
question.
I knew where your questions were
Two
going.
e-bikes.
park it in your garage.
They were
right?
good questions.
No, I
Tom.
don't park it in my.
Yeah. Just to state some facts, 10 out of the last 10 fires I've been to, 8 of them have been lithium batteries.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. That's
8 of the 10 last fires.
out of
went on
8 out of my last
batteries.
10
That's
have been
crazy.
lithium battery, whether it's a charger to your DeWalt
Drills?
drills, whether it could be I've had a Tesla in the garage where we had to pull it out while it's still actively on fire. I had the iPad on the bed. So the iPad on the mattress. I've had them all. So while she's talking about it, I'm just laughing because it's a real thing. It's not just to scare you, but it's, be aware.
Sure.
Okay.
Now, does that mean that there was something faulty within those things that?
It could be so, like she was stating, everybody tries to make their scooter faster. Everybody tries to buy the cheaper product. I think I mentioned in the last council meeting, I
Aftermarket.
had the young lady that I was on call for that weekend that the charger exploded on her lap while they were on 95. Did I mention that to you guys? So basically it was a 13-year-old girl charging her phone on her lap while her parents are driving and northbound on 95 right here off 10th. And it exploded on her legs. She got second and third degree burns to her legs. We had to transport her out. But that was just a simple, we all do that, right? So it's not something to scare you, but it's something to be aware about. Be cognizant of it. We're gonna leave a bunch of goodies here and stuff. And if you ever have any questions, we can answer them. But I traveled to Las Vegas this year. And the top concern, the top priority in all the classes I was in was lithium batteries. Okay, so it's a real thing. It's here to stay. Everybody is using scooters and e-bikes and charge those things outside, please. My biggest fire as a chief officer was a golf cart storage facility. It was 200 something golf carts that were on fire, and it was massive. It was a commercial structure, and they're lithium batteries. So the issue is they burn really hot, and they're volatile. You don't know what's going to happen with them. And when we put water on them, it now has a different hazardous material aspect to it. So just be aware. I didn't want her to scare you. It sounded like I was scared.
Scared me.
So I wanted to make sure you guys were just aware of what's happening, what's here. And it's mainly the scooters nowadays. Kids charge them. They leave them plugged in. Um, they're not treating them gently. They get somewhere, they throw them wherever, and over time, these warning signs that she was talking about, things
Get
getting
punctured.
heated, things starting to shape
Damage.
a little weird. When in doubt, throw it out, buy a new one. It's cheaper. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I'd say it. I don't want to say while she was here. But the last few fires I've had, and I'm telling you, it's like 8 of them, and it's the most random things. Fishing, somebody was charging their fishing. I didn't even know how they had an electric reel, but they were charging the electric reel in their garage and caught fire. I've had the Tesla fire. The EV fires are the unknown right now. They're beautiful cars and understandably so, but to us, they're big no-nos, right?
Sorry, guys.
They're beautiful though, right?
No, I think they are.
But yeah, I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware. But that's not, it's not just Lake Clark Shores, it's not just Palm Beach County, it's all over the nation, all over the world. Just buy another one. Tesla's gonna want to sell you everything. They have emergency disconnects, but we're on the emergency service and the safety side of things. So we're gonna see different things with a different lens. They're gonna say, only 0.1% of our vehicles catch fire, right? But that 0.1 can change everybody's lives here. Yeah. And just so you know, EV vehicles, I've had it in the turnpike less than 2 months ago. All their battery sources are under the vehicle, right? So all your charging ports under the vehicle. So when you're driving down the roadway and you run over something by mistake, let's say a tire or somebody threw something over the
Debris.
It happened on Lake Worth Road on the
So
turnpike.
you meant you are trying to scare me.
No. Just be aware. Drive with due regard and safety.
Drive like a grandma.
Besides that, fire rescue, we ran 28 calls in the town of Lake Clark Shores. Average response time, 7 minutes and 16 seconds, which brings me to my next question. There was a question about there was a fire over the weekend, Saturday, 1 p.m. Unfortunate, right? CBS block at the bottom, wood construction up top. Usually that's what we see in most homes. There was a question about response times. It took them 7 minutes to get there. They got dispatched at 13:06. 13:06 is the time the dispatcher or the call taker takes the call. Usually it starts with PBSO, then PBSO transfers to fire rescue, then fire rescue types it up, listens, and then sends our units. Our units were there in 7 minutes. The closest unit to that call was off 10th and 95,
33.
Detroit, station 39, 93.
93.
93 was the first one to respond, and they were there within 7 minutes. So, I mean, the math fits, it's mathing, right? But when there's an emergency, time feels like forever, right?
Yeah,
I've been doing CPR for 2 minutes and it feels like 25 minutes. I'm like, where's somebody to help me?
Was that the call with the South Lake call?
Yes, this
Yeah,
the fire.
I don't know. I was talking to him in the beginning. When I went to the scene, a few of the residents said it felt like forever, and I understand when you're on that side of the table, it could feel like forever. And 7 minutes is
Yeah, it was 7 minutes, and that's our crews getting dressed.
5-minute video.
Yeah.
tonight, so,
Yeah. So again, that's if it's the average response times, it's unfortunate what happened. I know I drove by the home, some
yeah.
serious damage. I have no idea how it started. Hopefully it wasn't a lithium battery and I don't want to jinx all this. Hopefully it was something else, but just know we're here to respond, and we're just here to make you aware of things that could possibly happen. I promise lithium batteries ain't going anywhere. It's gonna be the new, you know how back then in the day it was Homer Simpson smoking the cigarette and house caught fire, and that's how fires got or started in the past. Now it's lithium batteries. Okay, so just be aware, and that's all. That's all we have fire rescue related.
And believe it or not, one of those people that said it felt like forever, it was a retired firefighter from Palm Beach
Yeah.
County.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Okay. And I want to give a shout out to Mayor Masbach. Hopefully I pronounced that right. She was at our Fire Ops 101. She got to, I think 2 Saturdays ago, got to see what it was like to be a firefighter for a day. They put you through some basic courses of basic things we do, and I hope you got a good experience of what
It
we
was
do.
wonderful.
Yeah.
It really was
It
quite.
was cool seeing you, and Mr. Maples, that was used to be on your council.
Yeah.
He was there as well. So it was pretty cool. I got to assist him in some things. He was taller than the normal folk. So it was pretty cool that we had gear his size. Besides that, that's all we got fire rescue related. If you have any questions.
Yeah.
You know what she really wants to do now? The core.
The cold cut cobra.
We'll go-
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
we
The
currently
Cobra.
have- we currently
Next
have
time
that at the
Cobra.
Airport, and then our department's in the middle of ordering 3 more spread out evenly. through
It was a really neat experience, and Ben Lobello was my dresser.
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool.
And
And
yeah, we get to wear all kinds of.
Pictures.
Oh, I got a whole camera roll of them.
She's hanging off the side of, she was not doing basic stuff. She was hanging off the
We
the building.
gotta put up on social media.
Jumping off a
That's not
6-floor
your
building.
average mayor.
What was your favorite part you told me?
Oh, rappelling for sure.
Spelling. Yeah, that's usually at
It was
the end there.
belly, right.
Yep, and
I
just
don't know
so you
if the
understand,
daughter did it to her.
you understand the cold cut cobra. It's
Chief.
just yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
No,
know
it's
still talking. Go ahead.
Go ahead. All right, so the cold cut cobra is just creating a hydraulic hole, with water, as opposed to us. You saw what happens when you penetrate a battery case. So this is the safest way. And she was being nice when she said 10,000 gallons. It takes up to 20,000 gallons of water to put out an EV fire.
Wow.
With the cold cut cobra, and that's the fire that she's talking about. It's in my first due zone, so I just happen to know a little bit more information. We use 200 gallons of water and put the fire out, because we're actually putting water where it's burning. With everything else, we're
The
just putting
source.
water around it, and we're
Oh,
cooling
yeah.
the car, but the fire is in the battery pack. So don't park your Tesla in the car. In the garage, my golf cart that I have at home, watching all these videos and all that, I now park it in my backyard. I don't even put it in the garage.
Both of ours are up.
Not meaning to scare you all, all right?
Yeah, but
Thank
did.
you very much.
I'm gonna give you a woman's perspective on all that 30 pounds of gear that I had on. It needs more Lycra. You can't, they call it a bottle. They put a big can on my back, and I had to kneel down with the hose. And the next thing I know, I'm like a turtle.
And you think that was heavy? They've gotten lighter over the years. They used to be much heavier.
Anyway, thank you for providing that for us. And I recommend that everybody try it at least once.
Thanks for your help. Talking about it again. Kind of forced to go.
Good. It's about time.
Oh,
Sorry to keep you here so late, Chief Martinez. Chief England?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First, I'd just like to recognize that this week is National Police Week. And specifically Friday, May 15th is the Police Officers Memorial Day. And this was a bill that was introduced in Congress in 1961 and signed by President John F. Kennedy, recognizing all the local, state, and federal law enforcement officers who have died in the line of duty serving their communities. And it's also a day that we recognize all of our current law enforcement officers for the sacrifices that they make in serving their communities also. Year to date, the state of Florida has lost only 2 officers in the line of duty, which is statistically significantly lower than usual. Unfortunately, nationally, we've lost 38 law enforcement officers in the line of duty, which is a little bit higher than the national average annually. So I just wanted to recognize that and thank you all for the proclamation that you signed last month during the council meeting. We did place it in the lobby of the police department for all the public to see. So thank you for that recognition. Another thing I'd like to report is that later this week, representatives from Palm Springs Police Department, as well as Palm Springs IS Department, and myself and the lieutenant are going to go down to Northcom, which is located at the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department. It is the Northern County 911 Center and Dispatch Center. Specifically, we're going to be looking at their computer-aided dispatch system, otherwise known as their CAD system. Palm Springs is in the process this year of replacing their software system. What they have now is a little more than 10 years old. It's not as robust as some of the current software, and we're not able to really capture as much information and glean as much information like response times and whatnot. And a lot of the statistics we provide are actually hand tabulated by multiple people, so there's obviously an error there. So we're excited to go down there and see what some of the latest and greatest software is, and they're also going to allow us to participate in their selection process. They're going to do an RFP or at least go through a selection process, possibly a piggyback. So we'll have the opportunity to provide some input as far as what software systems will be able to support our community. As was earlier stated, well, first, let me just say, Lieutenant Fisher, obviously a significant portion of our organization, and we do have a lot of career aspirations for her. Earlier last month, she completed a leadership course that was hosted by the FBI, Law Enforcement Executive Development Agency. They have a trilogy leadership program made up of 3 separate weeks as far as that covers such topics as first line supervision, middle management, executive leadership. When I came here, that was one of the things we identified, is to provide her the appropriate training that she needs to truly move advanced into the middle management, to the senior management of law enforcement, and obviously serve the community better. So I do want to recognize for her for completing the first of those 3 classes. And as also, I believe was mentioned at the dais, she did participate with collecting some funds from the community for clothes for the 2 children who suffered the loss of the house over on South Lake Drive. In fact, she was off today shopping for them, spending those monies, collecting some more money, taking her own time to do that. I think that's just really a demonstration of her commitment to not only service, but to our community. Last thing I'd like to report is that I will be doing a e-bike presentation for public safety next week. There's going to be 2 sessions. One's going to be at 11:30 during our senior club, and there'll be another one at 5:30 p.m. here in the council chambers. I had an opportunity to do a similar presentation back in 2023 for the town of Jupiter and the Jupiter Police Department. When I was serving up there, it's really focused on education, so parents understand not only the rules of the road, but the complicated nature of these types of bikes and micro devices, as well as the batteries and some of the modifications. We'll go over the rules of the road and have an opportunity for some back and forth questions with the community. So if anybody has any questions as far as e-bikes and their appropriate use and safe operations, it's not going to be a long presentation. It'll be less than 30 minutes, but I think it'll be very educational. And again, an opportunity for the community to ask specific questions. So that's my report.
Can those go in your garage?
Ma'am?
The e-bikes?
They're going to be not only just about e-bikes, but also about all the other electric micro vehicles.
I wouldn't put them in my garage. No.
I would not put them in my garage.
I think that's what the,
No.
your-
But I do have my drill in my garage, so
Yeah, that one.
yeah.
And equal.
Exactly.
And equally so, when I was serving as the chief in Jupiter, we had several structure fires related to e-bikes, laptop computers, devices that were plugged in, left on the side. They were worn beyond their serviceable life, and they catch on fire very quickly. They burn very fast, and it spreads incredibly fast. So that is an excellent topic that tonight, the presentation, I said during the presentation was fantastic, as well as the individual presenting it.
Great.
Thank you.
So that's my report. Thank you.
Chief, I continue to be concerned about the dramatic drop in traffic stops. Can you address that?
Yes, ma'am. We have staffing shortages right now, so we just have less officers on the road. So when an officer is on a call for service, they are the only person who's on duty, so they're tied up on that call, and they're not be able to go out and be proactive. I expect that number to change if and when we bring on staff, and we're at a full level of a complement of staffing.
When do you anticipate that?
Well, we're in the process of advertising the position. We've gone through a couple selection processes, and unfortunately, we didn't select anybody. Tonight, you ratified a contract, so we're hoping those numbers provide an opportunity to attract some candidates that fit within the culture and within this organization. We're running the process as quickly as we can, but it's an extremely competitive field.
Yeah.
We're competing with other agencies, both similar to us and larger than us, that offer significant benefits. But what's important is that we find the correct person that fits within this organization. We have a history over the last 10 years of high amount of turnover. It seems we have a couple people who've been here a really, really long time and a bunch of people who've only been here a short time. And those short timers tend to turn over rather quickly.
Yeah.
In fact, I want to say we turn the entire agency over statistically every 2.5 years of the last 10 years. So we again, with the council's approval of this contract, we believe we're going to be able to go out to market and attract some people to come in. And now we're going to be competitive with similar size organizations. And we can convince individuals why this would be the appropriate agency and the appropriate community for them to serve, and then build a long-term relationship with them.
I went to Joel Flores's office opening a couple of weeks ago, and I met a man who said he was interviewing with you to be a reserve officer.
We do currently have one person who is interested in a reserve position. They have a full-time job. So their time and availability is obviously going to be limited.
I think he was still going to be on weekends. Did he get hired?
We are processing one individual right now. I don't know if that's the person you're talking about, but one individual did reach out, speak with me, put an application in. They actually are scheduled for an oral board interview this Friday morning, and they have a long process to go through. Hiring law enforcement officers is very complicated as far as backgrounds and physicals and drug screening and psychological tests. They have multiple oral boards they have to go through. There's a lot of state requirements that are well beyond just a general employee. So the process can take, anywhere from a month to 3 months, depending on how quickly we get information back from their references, their schools. If they work for other law enforcement agencies, obviously we have to go pull all of those records also.
I was going to save this till my commissioner comments, but I have seen a significant increase in the stationed car, the officer that's on Forest Hill. I know Forest Hill has come up in a bunch of the last meetings, but I have noticed that they're there at those peak hours, bless you. And I think it makes a significant difference, honestly. I mean, I watch everyone kind of like slow their car down as soon as they come up and see them, so.
Having a presence does affect driving patterns and driving behaviors. And what I do is during meetings, whether it's open or during the open comments, whether it's comments from you all during your report outs or any individual during any of the agenda items, I take notes, and typically I'll go back the next day and I'll ask officers to address certain issues and make assignments. Are called special details or special operations. So we'll plate them in specific places and times to address certain issues. So as several comments, both from the dais, from Tim and whatnot, that they're not out there by accident. They're out there on purpose and by direction.
It's noticed. Thank you.
Thank you.
100%. They still, I don't know what we're gonna do. There's a lot more red light runners. I mean, not just turns red, like red, 1, 2, 3, a car goes through and the light is already green coming out of Pine Tree. I just to travel at I said, peak hours in the morning. I don't see the afternoon. And I know it's staffing. So hopefully when staffing gets up, we can start addressing that more. I know we're limited in what we can do in enforcement. We got to pick and choose what's the most safest thing and trying to get our residents safe and to keep Forest Hill safe.
Forest Hill with speeding, Forest Hill with blocking the box, and Forest Hill at Pine Tree for running the red lights have our attention. Obviously, Forest Hill Boulevard is a major 6-lane highway through the heart of a county of 1.2 million people. We have a lot of people traveling from west onto I-95 and then coming off of I-95 going west. It's a high traveled road. There's a ton of volume. So it is important to have a presence out there. So we do affect driving patterns and behaviors.
So I'm still hearing people still under that old impression from the motorcycle cop that used to give them tickets. Do they still think that Lake Clark Shores is a place not to speed? So as long, let them think that. Hopefully we'll get that back in.
I've
Get that
heard
back on
that.
track.
I've heard that also even to this day.
Good. Thank you.
Town attorney comments, status report.
Yeah, nothing other than what's in the report unless you have questions.
Any questions?
How much is the lien on
Barbie?
the 8311 waterway? Do we know?
It is, I'm testing my memory. I think it's a couple $100,000. Yeah.
I know that place has been not as bad as the other one. It's not that great.
No. No, it's set for sale, I think, 1st of June. Well, it is in there. 1st of June, they're gonna have a judicial sale. And, you know, the town's gonna be in line if the bidding goes well.
Joe, comments?
Thank you.
Status report, please?
Yes, thank you. Our next meeting is on the second Tuesday, June 9th. As I've discussed with you all, we have some conflicts for the July meeting. Both the normal meeting would have been the 14th. We have conflicts on that and the 21st. So maybe we should look at the 28th as a meeting if that's possible. So don't need an answer tonight, but maybe please look at your calendar. But 28th seems to be now the new date.
For July?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. We're going to have a footprints next week. Next Wednesday, we will have our clerk and comptroller, Mike Caruso's office here. He might be here or he might not be, but his office will be here. And then obviously Chief said he's going to do a presentation about the e-bikes.
Joe, can I ask a quick question just regarding that one real
Yeah,
quick?
please.
Do you guys do an email blast for that?
Of course.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Listen, the property fraud is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And we should get a lot of.
We
these
send out social media
All right, good.
2-3
That-
times.
This one is good. This is very important.
Yeah, and we'll do it for both those events. And then my favorite event where Alice Cooper, we're going to have here for May 29th, back to school.
So.
I'm good. They want me to dress up as Alice Cooper, but no, I'm not going to do that.
I'll pay for it.
Want to be the fire captain? No, I'm not doing it. All right. We're asking everyone to join us. We're getting, I think this only happens every 50 years that we have a celebration like this. Our country, this great nation is going to celebrate our 250th year. So we're going to put lights out. We're going to put some banners out, decorate our bridges. So we're going to do some things around government property. So we're asking our residents to join us and to celebrate this great event. We're going to start for Memorial Day and continue on the whole month until July.
And if we could get photographs of it, I think the League of Cities and the 250, and a lot of people are asking for photos of little towns. So we want to be recognized, even if it's in a small way.
Okay, we'll share them. Especially with the bridges lit up red.
Just with that award-winning bridge.
Oh,
You missed it.
I missed
You
it.
missed it. Missed your
sorry, so sorry.
See, Joe, we are paying attention.
Pictures. Okay. Obviously, you guys know about the homeless issue. We've got it now cleaned up. So hopefully that has solved an issue.
I'll follow up with you, but there's been some more on the other side of that wall, which still,
And they end somewhere else too.
okay.
So I
And they have
wanna-
pictures, so I don't know if you want the
there's-
picture or not. And And that resident actually contacted your contact, and he says, oh, no, that's Lake Clark Shores.
Yeah, I just was notified today of something, but if you hear anything, send me
Okay.
pictures,
Yep.
please.
Will do.
Um,
I'll get
I
them.
appreciate that. The more eyes out there helps me. The hurricane season, obviously starting next month, we're going to do a tabletop exercise with the county next month. They're going to have a hurricane hit us on June 1st. But they'll start the exercise the Wednesday before. I think June 1st is like a Sunday or a Monday. So just so you know, we'll be sending out, just like a real event, we'll be sending you out notices and stuff like
This
that.
is a drill.
It's a drill.
Let's go up to the EC, or do you just like bunker here?
We bunker here mainly, but we can send one representative to the military trail. It's not the EC.
E-
It is the EC.
EOC.
EOC. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can think of the word. You don't really want to be there for 3 days because
No.
that's not.
No, you don't.
I've been working with the Florida Department of Transportation on, they've got a 3R, which is basically a paving project scheduled for our town sometime next year. We're asking them to do more, and they've been receptive of that. As you know, we're trying to get better access across Pine Tree, across Forest Hill on Pine Tree, and more pedestrian friendly. So with a big safe haven in the middle and the median. So they've been very receptive of that, and also getting the Mayor and I's median done, which is just west of I-95. We think that median needs to be aesthetically improved. So we're working with those two things. The rest of the things are minor. It's I don't see anything crazy, except for we were won. Our bridge is award winning. We won for the whole state of Florida.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I hadn't heard.
You haven't heard? Okay, so that's it. So
Where?
you have any questions?
Yeah, Joe, how was the lake cleanup? I was out of town.
The
How
attendance
was it attended?
was not as
It's
well.
been going down.
It's been going down. We were not happy with the attendance.
We didn't have
Yeah.
a lot of we didn't have a lot of boats.
We didn't have a lot of people, boats either. So we're going to give you an update during budget time of our special events. But yeah, if you have any ideas on how to, we love the event. We think it's a great
You
event.
started out good back when.
I do have feedback on that, but I'm gonna talk to you about it separately.
Okay, please. That's what we need to hear.
Yeah.
We need to hear feedback. Yes.
I went in my own little kayak and got a few a lot of little stuff, but a lot of little stuff that people are throwing, like oil cans, bottled water, and they get collected. I just did it up on the Parks Memorial and around Pine Tree, and I actually located a bicycle that I had the town follow up and pull out.
The one good news is I did have Florida Department of the state lower the lake.
Yes.
And we didn't find as much debris as we saw in the past. So
Yes.
there was less debris. So
Yes.
that was good. But we didn't have enough people helping us out.
But we did identify some construction debris that was left
Yeah.
behind.
But it was cleaner than normal
I agree.
prior years. So, anything else?
Council comments, Bridget.
Yeah, I will first I'd like to thank not only the community for the outreach they had for the family that lost to the house fire, but I want to thank Palm Beach County and the response. It was significant. Our law enforcement officers also participated in security, and unfortunately, because they were there, they weren't able to be on the water, but that was more important. But I was impressed with the community's outreach to what the community we are. They invited them home. They were making sure that they were taken care of. They're still obviously under a lot of stress, but it was that community that reminded me of the community feel that we have, and that the same thing what happens after disaster, people you jump into that helpful mode. So it was very impressive. Also, Lieutenant Fisher for her continued work and collecting funds of her own. People are sending her, but she's taking the initiative to do that, because I know that's outside the purview. And I have spoken with the town manager about possibly a follow-up process of creating a police foundation. And I know that it's an outside source, but we have and Joe can correct me if I'm wrong, to have that as a avenue where people donate. You have a separate board. The police chief would be an advisor. He wouldn't technically sit on the board. But if you have events like that, you could reach out to them to provide X, Y, and Z, whether it's clothing, water, or assistance, and getting them the necessities they need. So that's something I also spoke with the fire department, the local union, and they said they were going to try to coordinate what we can do. But Mike O'Brien mentioned to ask you to maybe in the future, early on, if we have a situation like that, we can bring in the cadets. He said to contact you on something like that. They could help with like the water because you guys ran out of water. That was a hot day just to start off with, but it was not even the family member, but your guys were dehydrated. But they said, is that something that you would do or not do?
Yeah, on that call, they had the reservists come out. So if it's a prolonged fire, that was a
Right.
prolonged fire. I think came in at 1.
Oh.
They cleared like around 4 or 5, and then they came back at 9.
Okay, I missed that.
So for those prolonged fires, we'll have reservists come out with the canteen unit bringing us additional supplies. And then for the families, we usually partner with the Red Cross. On this call, they offered Red Cross assistance. Red Cross came out. They usually provide clothing and shelter for a few days till if they're displaced. But I believe the family in this case said they had place to stay.
Yes, they
So
did.
they provided them with clothing. But
Yes.
usually on any fire, we always offer Red Cross assistance. They'll come out and they'll help out as best as they can.
Because I know that when you're in that situation, it's difficult to think of what you need next. So being in the fire service, but I think that if we can create an element for them that we don't have to think, that we educate our police saying, hey, this is what we can do for you, X, Y, and Z, here's where to go as a resource. We don't necessarily have to do it, but here's the thing, because otherwise everybody's getting on the internet and trying to figure out what I need, what I don't need. So I just think because we have that hometown community feel, that's just another element, a layer that we can provide that assistance to, obviously in conjunction with the law enforcement and fire. So I definitely want to thank everybody that was involved there. I really just, that's pretty much what I have to say. I want to thank the police force for what they did, and hopefully we can move forward with our improving the status of our law enforcement officers, and kudos to Dana. I have big aspirations for her. I think that she might be up and coming in our female, not only as a female law enforcement, but in our leadership. And I thank you for mentoring her and guiding her into the direction for the next round. That's what I'll have to say.
Vice Mayor?
Joe, is it possible, since we're doing this thing town-wide for Memorial Day and gonna leave the flags up in celebration for the 250, that we can leave the flags up at the head of the lake that time frame also?
Yeah, we're doing
Doable?
that.
Plan on doing that?
That's part of the plan.
It's a great idea.
I love,
Love it.
that's Lake Clark Shores. Boom.
That's already part of the
spectacular.
plan.
So,
It really is.
yeah, trust me,
I like the whole idea of going through that. It's really not that, it's a month really at the end of the day, so.
the staff reminded me, but you might have to ruin the flags, but
But
and the flags might get faded and might replace them. They know where I come from.
That pains him to.
There was a
replace
little
it.
pain, but I did approve it. Yes, it's
Sure.
the whole month.
Okay, good. That's all I got.
Vice Mayor Pro Tem?
Oh, we're skipping over this way. Okay. Congratulations to the staff on the audit. I think that's a big deal. And I know we're going to put that very positive financial situation that the town is in the buzz. Somehow communicate that with
Okay.
our neighbors.
Okay.
And I think beyond that, I'm very pleased with the way things went with our officers. I hope everyone, like Mayor Mosbach said, has good morale, and that you, Chief England, feel good moving forward to have the support that you need to be successful, to continue to be successful. Outside of that, I would love to have Dana connect with me if possible, or whoever is the best person to be the go-between between the officers and the family in need. Like Councilmember Keating said, I think it's hard to know what you need. I would love to donate my council salary for this year to them in some capacity. I know it's not much, as we talk about often, but for them, I'm hoping it can make a big impact. And so I don't know if that's in gift cards, meals, whatever the children need, but I would love you, Dana, to contact me and let me know how we can do that. Thank you.
Yeah, you can sell Dana, and she's been at Target twice in the last 2 days, buying things for
Yeah.
the kids.
I just think there might be other things that they're gonna need down the road too that haven't come up yet, but.
Oh,
I
for
can be
sure,
Happy to.
for sure, and that's very kind
to
and
sell
generous
it
of you.
as well.
Very kind. Let's see, I want to congratulate the police on their new contract. And I want to congratulate the town staff again on on coming up with a fair contract to everybody and for a clean audit. Those are quite good accomplishments. I want to thank Fire Rescue for the Fire Rescue 101. It was a very neat experience. And I would like to extend all my heartfelt prayers and condolences to Mark and his family. And I've seen with Dana and on the town's Facebook page how everybody is pulling together to help them. So I'm very heartwarmed, and that's what this great neighborhood is about. That's what a small town is all about. Yesterday, I attended it with Joe, the Central County Alliance, which is the 7 municipalities in our area. Let's see. I hope all the mothers had a lovely Mother's Day last week, and and the National Day of Prayer was last week, so I want to recognize that as well. And with that, I will say we are adjourned.
Thank you, Mayor.
But
Let it be written, let it be done.
well, now
you.
keep your seat.
Oh.
We have a CRA meeting.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
this,
one meeting.
Thank you.
yeah, this will be quick.
Aye.
Oh,
Actually, I gotta find it first. Mary, would you please take a roll call?
thank, thank you.
Hey, Mariana, thank you
You're
for
trooper.
coming. Yeah, this is, if you can sit through, if you
No.
can.
Like telling my husband, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'll be home at like 8:32.
Are you new to the?
Mary, you want a motion?
Here for about 8 years, but I just haven't had a chance to make it to a town council meeting. I've been in a traveling role and I got a new job in January.
Oh, okay.
Finally local and I can
Thank
get
you.
involved.
Here, Chief.
We're very glad to have you involved in.
Thank you
in-
for
Thank
nighting
you.
it out with
Pleasure
me.
Yeah,
meeting you.
this was longer than normal.
Could we get a motion to adjourn? She wants a
Definitely
mo-
over my 100.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Second,
all in favor?
aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion carries because they can't
Mayor-
see the
Mayor-
eyes have it
Mayor-
anymore.
Mary keeps us, Mary keeps us straight, so thank you, Mayor.
Smile at me, guys.
Mary, would you roll call for the CRA meeting, please?
Christy Massbach.
I am here.
Gregory Freebold, Vice Chair.
I'm still here.
And Taylor Materio,
Here.
Commissioner.
Here,
Bridget
here.
Keating.
Mhm. Present.
Audience comments? Hearing none. Approval of the agenda. May I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Approval of the consent
So
agenda.
move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We already had the presentation of the CRA audit. Are there any action or discussion items that anyone would like to talk about?
No.
Okay, Executive Director comments, please.
Yeah, I'm going to note in the minutes that the gentleman did make his presentation on the CRA audit during the regular meeting.
That's what I just said.
Yes, I just want to make sure it's clear, so we'll make it clear in the minutes. But no, I have nothing to add. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Commissioner comments. Bridget,
I do not.
Vice Mayor,
Nothing at this time.
Vice Mayor.
Nope.
Oh, well, Commissioner, sorry, I'm calling you by the wrong titles.
I
Any
don't even
comments?
know what my title is.
What, where?
At 9:40, I don't know.
No comments from Commissioner Materio.
I have one comment that I'd like us to, but we can discuss it now or just be thinking about it. You know, we've got $309,000. We don't have to spend it and we can watch it accrue. But I think I would like for us to consider a general 300,000 feet view, would we like to start getting bids for the various components of the two parks? And then over time, we can start adding a feature here and there, because we're never going to be able to do it all at once. Or is that money better saved, better served to be used for commercial purposes, along the corridor?
Well, we're gonna need some of that money for the plans for the parks, correct?
Yeah,
Do you want to elaborate about the,
Like-
where we're going with the status of the grants and the next the steps that you believe are going to be coming next?
yes, Mayor, Mayor.
Please.
Yeah, what we paid for was conceptual drawings. So what we need now is buildable construction drawings that we can go out to bid on. So we're waiting for one of those FERDAP grants or the federal grant to hit. And we usually are allowed to spend money on those kind of design aspects. So we'll get 50 cents back on the dollar. So that was always the plan, to wait for, if we get hit on one of those grants, that then we would get those plans paid for 50 cents on the dollar, then we'd go out to bid and do some kind of phase of those projects.
Okay, so are we thinking that the money is best used for the parks or best used for incentivizing businesses?
Well,
Let's see what
that-
the grant does.
this-
Yeah.
It's up to you all, but
That's what I'm trying to get a feel for.
Yeah.
okay, I got you.
Well, I'd like to know where we are with the grant before we start making.
August and-
determinations. That's like free money, first of all. And if
It's,
we can use that,
Are we thinking like August?
yeah, usually you'll know by August. It's a crazy year. They're discussing, there's no budget passed, as you know, so they're.
one job,
Yeah,
one job.
they're,
Yeah.
They have to get that done.
but
Nope.
All
There-
right. May I get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
thank you.